There's a few things that I need to state throughout the course of making this production. So we're going to be here for a little while. Therefore, I advise you Negroes to listen to me very carefully. And once again, in typical formation, let me start this production off by stating, for those who appreciate the content, that I want you to kick off this production by getting my likes up. Furthermore, I want you to share these productions. And for those who are true supporters of the content that I produce on this channel, then you have the option to leave a donation via Cash App or PayPal, or both, however big or small you deem fit. Thirdly, I would like to give a huge thank you to everybody who has decided to support the content and the productions on this channel by leaving some sort of donation either via Cash App or PayPal. It is greatly appreciated. Now, unfortunately, I will not be able to leave the link that I typically would have directly underneath. Those two links would be the link to the Free Speech Avenger website. Due to the circumstances that would have taken place recently with the shooting that has taken place on a subway train car out in Brooklyn or New York City. And I guess the guy who did the shooting had an account, not only here on YouTube, but also on the Free Speech Avenger website. So due to those circumstances, I will no longer be posting that link in the description box, at least until further notice, until I find that everything has been cleared to go. Or if the account has to be shut down altogether, then I won't be posting it at all. But anyhow, since I don't have all the details on that, therefore I won't be speaking on it. However, throughout the last production that I made, somebody asked the question, why do you spend time honing in on this individual? The one that we are looking at on the screen right here. And I'm not going to labor too much longer with her, but the answer is simple. I use individuals like this to support the premise of what I've been stating for at least 7 or 8 years now, when it comes down to these divestors, these fake wannabe swirlers, these phony, disingenuous BWE content creators, that you are dealing with a group of females who come from a place of no structure, they lack integrity, they have no consistency, they have no balance, they are intellectually dishonest, in many cases flat out deceitful. This is what you're dealing with. Now, when it comes down to Chris No Logic, and before I even mention anything about her, let me just say this, because I've also explained about pattern recognition. When you can recognize patterns about people, you can find out many things about them without having to get a single answer or asking a single question or even having a conversation with that person. And I've noticed something that took place since Chris Logic, or Chris, as I say, No Logic, has taken her hiatus from YouTube. Now, she has recently come back. I believe it was just yesterday when she made or finally produced the part 2 to that Jessica X exposed video. Now, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm not going to get into that. Y'all can look at that on your own leisure, enjoy your own conclusions. But the first thing that I noticed about Chris No Logic is that she is an immigrant. Secondly, I noticed that she is not authentic in many different ways. That she was perpetuating a fraud. And her being an immigrant, coming to this continent, feeling that it's okay for her to literally trash mouth the natives of this land, and I'm talking about Black American men, foundational Black Americans, is even that much more despicable to me. All of this talk when she found herself on Jessica X's live stream about her being a bad bitch, and then we can just look at just this picture alone right here. Because according to what she stated, she's in spaces around high-value men. High-value men are dating her, they're buying her nice things, they're spending money on her. But then we look at the pictures that she's in, and what we see is a female. This is not a polished female. I've seen some females who are well put together. Chris No Logic is not one of them. I mean, if we just go back for a second. Just look at this background right here. Just the spaces that she's in. Turned around with her ass poked out in a picture. Look at the background, shit all over the fucking floor, garbage all over the fucking place. This just speaks volumes. As a matter of fact, I think I gotta go this way. To the tacky outfits that she puts on. I mean, it speaks fucking volumes. To the cheap clothing that she wears. This is not a polished woman. To the background, I mean, look right here at this picture that we're looking at. Here she is in some random street, probably somewhere in the middle of Newark, New Jersey, bent over in front of a lighting post. Does this look like a female that is in high value spaces? Let's zoom in for a second. Look at that background. Graffiti on the fucking walls, trash all over the fucking streets. The grass has not been properly trimmed or groomed, but yet you can see that this is not a female that comes from high value spaces. Furthermore, what I'm going to conclude, well, before I get into that, let me just say this. When I sat back and I listened to her excuses and her reasoning for why she decided to dox Jessica X, there were so many inconsistencies with that. I said, oh no, there's just no way I can sit back and listen to this and not voice an opinion on it. So as I'm sitting back and I'm listening to it, she stated, well, Jessica X and her minions decided to dig up information on me. Okay. She stated they did this by going to her Instagram page, which Chris No Logic admittedly says that she keeps that linked in the description box and is a public profile, meaning that anybody can go to that profile. The images that I have circulating in these productions that I make came directly from that profile. Because why? It is a public profile. So then when I furthermore listen to why her reasoning is to why it was okay for her to dox somebody because she merely had a disagreement with them. She said, well, one of the reasons why I did this is based off of not only them digging up my information on Instagram, but them putting out my little brother and my little sister who are extremely underage. This is what she stated. Now, her exchange with Jessica X when she called in talking about how she was a bad bitch on that live stream, this was over a year ago. Okay? And like I already stated and proven that she's not a bad bitch. I mean, let me just go ahead and say, this is based off of her words. She says this. And I'm not saying this based off of what or where I view her level of physical attraction. I'm saying this based off of her own view. Because the consistent or the inconsistencies that we've seen, and she has posted numerous pictures, or at least 2 other pictures with her, with other individuals in these pictures with her. Via, whether it be friends, and I blurred out the faces, or family. And I'm going to scroll to that in just a second. So what I'm seeing when I recognize the pattern, I always explain this, once y'all understand recognizing patterns, you can find out a lot about a person without you even having to ask a single question or have a conversation with them. I know that Chris No Logic seen my last production that I made. And I know this not due to I had a conversation with them, because I don't talk to none of them. Not to any exchanges of messages, because you will never find me exchanging messages with these individuals. Anything that I have to say about them will be done on this public platform. And that's as far as I'm going. But based off of what I've recognized with her pattern, it lets me know that you caught wind of my production. And there was a reaction behind that production. Chris No Logic, you're probably watching this production right now. You know good and damn well what I'm talking about, but I'm going to get into that in just a few minutes. But when we talked about her reasoning for doxing Jessica X, is based off of her little brother and her little sister being exposed, according to what she stated. But clearly on a public platform, she has no problem showcasing friends and even family members. Now, if you were so concerned about your family, this would be equivalent to when I don't think I got to go ahead and use that analogy. So I'm just going to stick with what I'm going to say now. If you were so concerned about your family members being exposed, your exchange with Jessica X was over a year ago. If this happened over a year ago, why was it I was able to go to your profile less than a month ago and pull up the pictures that I pulled up of your little brother and your little sister? Now I'm going to leave that right there for a second. Because if you were so concerned for their safety, and listen, these females are hypocrites. They don't care about the safety of their family members. They will sacrifice their family members for the sake of trying to push their frivolous, baseless agenda. It lets you know that you're dealing with a sickness when it comes down to individuals like this. Because once again, someone who's truly concerned about their family members, had what she'd been saying had actually been true, then the reaction should have been to take those pictures down, or at least set them to private. She didn't do that. As I've told y'all, I managed to capture these, right when I done my production. These pictures were still public just a little bit less than a month ago. As of right now, she has taken those pictures down. If you go to her Instagram page, you won't find these two images of her little brother and her little sister. There's a reason for that, and y'all seen it. With those of you who watched my last production, you've already caught wind of it. If you got good eyes, you've already seen it. If you haven't already seen my production, then you know where I'm getting ready to go with this. But looking at Chris No Logic, she always struck me as someone who's not authentic. Just like when it comes down to this bad bitch, she's not a light-skinned female. This is not an authentic woman. This is a female with a very low self-esteem. This is what you're dealing with. So when she runs on Jessica X's profile or live stream saying I'm a bad bitch, no, the one who knows the furthest that you are the furthest thing from a bad bitch is none other than Chris Logic herself. And when you take a look at certain things, and Jessica X mentioned this, and when she said it, it all tied in for me. That this is a skin bleacher. This is someone who has very low self-esteem. This is why when you look at this terrible eyeshadow that she tries to cover up those dark spots under her eyelids, what you're really dealing with is an individual, and this to showcase and substantiate that this is a skin bleacher. As I'm sitting down doing not the live stream, but the production that I made probably about a month ago, it suddenly dawned on me as I zoomed in. I didn't even catch wind of it right away. Now I blurred out all the goddamn faces. All the other pictures of her friends, those you can still find on her profile. The only two pictures that you're not going to find on that Instagram page is this one here and this one here. So this means, like I told y'all, Chris No Logic reacted or gave some reaction to my last production. She doesn't have to come out and verbally address me, but you reacted to my last production. Why? Because you took down those pictures. And you took them down when pretty much the brother of logic and common sense thoroughly got a clean look at these images and got a close-up look at these images and realized, holy shit, there were some crusty hands on these small children in the background. And the crazy part is I don't see no adult standing behind all three of y'all. So this means this can only be one person's hands. I showcase these creepy images that really just, if I seen some shit like this, I would lose my fucking mind. If I seen something like this in person, I literally would be shocked. And what furthermore substantiated is when I looked or zoomed into this picture. Now, it should have dawned on everybody, and it should have dawned on me a lot sooner. And you can even look at her feet and see that her feet are several shades darker than her actual face and her upper torso. But what should have dawned on me is the fact that you have a little brother and a little sister who are several shades darker than you. They appear to be maybe just a few years apart from each other, or maybe a year apart from one another. Who knows? Maybe no more than 2 years. If I were a betting man, I would bet that y'all all come from the same two parents, meaning that you don't have different parents. So how is it that Chris No Logic came out so much lighter than everybody else? Now, I know when it comes down to genetics and gene pools, it could be a little tricky like that. So I'm not here to really spectate or speak on these things as if I know what I'm talking about. But like I stated before, when I've always looked at this individual, I've noticed that this is not an authentic light-skinned female. And this is the same look that I see when it comes down to many Jamaicans that come to this country, many Jamaican women, many African women, and certain Haitian women. Y'all have this light-skinned look, but the look is never authentic. And then when you thoroughly really put two and two together, you realize, okay, these are skin bleachers. So now when you go to Chris No Logic's or Crystal Bell's Instagram page, what she states is public and is linked in the description box of every one of her videos, you are going to notice that these pictures have been taken down. And the reason why I can say that they will sacrifice their own siblings. Because she didn't take these pictures down based off of the exchange that she had with Jessica X and based off of her believing that they were exposing these small children. No, it's okay to expose them because she had these pictures up less than a month ago. So she, based off of their safety, that's not worthy of taking the pictures down to protect your own little brother and sister. But the only reason why she took the images down was because she caught wind of the production that I made. And when I highlighted and showcased that, okay, this is who you are, a skin bleacher. Jessica X brought it to the light. Well, Jessica X made mention of it. I showcased this to the light. Now, you can try to take the pictures down. I have the original pictures. I mean, at this point in time, it's a done deal. So anytime you want to go back and hide this shit and make it seem as if this is not who I am, no, we see that you are a female, an individual with a very low self-esteem, who lacks confidence, who doesn't even like what she looks at in the goddamn mirror every fucking day. But yet you claim to be wanting to help black women, wanting to teach black women, talking about divestment. And the problem that I have particularly with this is these are females who, or what the problem that I have with a lot of you black women, is you don't require true tangible results when it comes down to who you let lead you. You will support inadequate leadership each and every goddamn time. This is what y'all are accustomed to doing. You will support people who literally, who get produce no fucking results, who don't know what they're fucking talking about, lack consistency. This is something that goes on a regular basis. All right. I had to go ahead and do something about all that background music in the background. Anyhow, as I was telling y'all are dealing with individuals who lack consistency. Y'all are dealing with individuals who don't even like what they see when they look at themselves in the fucking mirror. And like I said, Chris Logic knows she's not a bad bitch. And these are her words now. This bad bitch language and verbiage. And the reason why I say she knows she's not a bad bitch, it's not based off of what way I view her physically, whether I find her physically attractive or not. We're removing my viewpoints out of this altogether. She doesn't believe, or she knows she's not a bad bitch based off of what we're looking at right here. She doesn't even like what the fuck she sees in the goddamn mirror. Now, before I end this note end this note with this individual, what I've noticed about a lot of immigrants that show up here to the United States, and I'm talking about whether you be from Barbados, whether you be from Haiti, whether they be from Jamaica, whether you be from Africa. A lot of these immigrants come here and they already have this preconceived disdain toward black American men. This is what I've noticed. It was a few years ago, probably close to 10 years ago, actually, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, that you had this goofy ass Haitian female by the name of CC, the Haitian Sensation. Some little goofy motherfucker that would get online and espouse talking points about black men and literally just putting white men on pedestals. Sometime, I believe this was around 2009. I was on a dating site and I had messaged this African female. And after a few short exchanges of messages, I gave her my number and she decided to call me. And when she called, she asked or the first thing that she asked, and this conversation went downhill from the moment it got started, was, do you have kids? I said, no. Why not? Shouldn't you have kids all over the place like black men typically do from multiple different women? This is what came out of her fucking mouth. And the conversation just quickly went downhill from there. And what she stated was pretty much what she was throwing black American men under the goddamn bus. Went as far as to putting white guys on a pedestal, talking about why she likes dating white men. Now, mind you, she didn't even have one, because had she had one, therefore you shouldn't even be on the phone talking with a black man. What the hell were you doing taking or exchanging numbers with a black man, since white guys are so much better? Furthermore, she goes out of the way to say the stuff that you black American men do here, if you were in my country, over there from the continent of Africa, your bodies would be turning up dead, floating in rivers, based off of what y'all do. This is what she stated. Now, I find that to be ironic, especially considering the fact that you have a whole continent full of nothing but dark-skinned Africans. Now, y'all find it, y'all would make it a point to go ahead and make sure that black American men's bodies turn up dead in rivers based off of the treatment of what y'all disapprove of how we treat women. But yet that entire continent is being exploited by Asians, by whites, by Arabics, and any other group that feels fit to come over there and exploit that goddamn country. And yet these niggas are not focused on how they're going to get harness their own resources in their country, how they're going to get all these other foreigners off of their land and stop from exploiting their goddamn land. But y'all want to focus on black American men. You see, this really becomes a joke to me, because until you're ready to deal with that, I don't want to hear shit about what those men are going to do. Because those men have sat back and have watched shit like this happen time and time again. Those men have failed time and time again. So therefore, listen, I don't want to hear nothing about some African man's opinion of a black American. Because until y'all are ready to get that shit under control, I don't want to hear y'all talking nothing about how black American men treat black women, or women in general. Mind you, you have a whole list of pedophiles that come over there from other races that exploit your fucking children, and you niggas ain't doing nothing about it. But yet y'all want to get so fucking aggressive when it comes out to black American men. This is some of the most pathetic, pitiful shit I've ever fucking heard in my entire goddamn life. Now, what I should have asked this female is, were you raised by your father? Were you raised with both your mother and the father in the home? Now, I should have asked that question, but it would not surprise me if she comes from a home with two parents. Just like when we look at this individual right here, Chris No Logic, aka Crystal Bell. As I've told y'all before, I don't believe that that they have different parents. I believe they all come from the same two parents. It would not surprise me if both of these parents are still together and live under the same household. I'm going to conclude, because based off of what I'm seeing, Chris Logic is not one that lives in no high value neighborhoods. She doesn't have all this money where she can afford. No, she's living in a goddamn ghetto. Probably lives somewhere in Newark or some rundown area, Orange County, some other area of New Jersey. And listen, I'm not knocking somebody if they live like that, but for you to have the audacity to get your funky ass online and espouse the talking points that you espouse day in and day out about black men. And you probably, I'm going to conclude one of two things. Either you stay in a college dorm or campus, or you're living at home with your parents. If I was guessing out of the two, you probably are living at home with your parents, because you probably can't afford to stay on a college or dorm room or campus. And if both of your parents are still living in a household, if you have a father that lives in your household, then how the fuck did you turn up like this? How did you end up having such a low self-esteem under his fucking roof? And this is the problem that I had, because, what a lot of black men say is, if we had black fathers in the household, that this would help to solve the problem. Now, I do agree with that, but I stated years ago, I got to beg to differ. that even with black men in the household, that this problem still wouldn't change. Because like I said, going on a limb here, I'm going to venture to say that you have a father that lives in your house. And this shit is happening all underneath his fucking roof. These goofy, silly ass, stupid ass live streams that she produces takes place under his fucking roof. And when you got a black father who allows his black, first of all, your father's supposed to be the one to enforce your beauty, to tell you that you are beautiful just as you are. That this skin bleaching shit, you don't have to do this, and therefore you're not going to do it under my roof. But this takes place under his fucking roof. It would not surprise me if these fucking live streams that she makes, these stupid ass videos that she makes calling black men nakers and bullet bags and all this other bullshit, talking about how she'll call the cops on black guys for simply playing basketball in the goddamn park. This all happens underneath his fucking roof. So my question is, when it comes down to you Africans, what I really want to know is what the fuck is going on with you niggas over there in the continent that your daughters are fucked up like this? Because there's only one way that this happens, and that is if the father is letting this shit take place. Because a lot of you niggas are out here literally trying to sell your daughters off to white men. How do you have an African female come here and literally start worshiping white men who grew up in a two-parent household? Make fucking sense out of that. What type of failure do you have to be as a black man to have your daughter out here worshiping whiteness? That's an embarrassment. There's no explanation that you can say when this shit is going on. And furthermore, if this is going on underneath your goddamn roof, your daughter's projecting a low self-esteem, showcasing that she really doesn't even like who the fuck she is, and it explains why now she would have an issue with light-skinned women, because she is not the real fucking McCoy. She is not an authentic light-skinned female. So to any of you Africans, any of you Haitians, any of y'all that come from a foreign nation and want to talk this stupid shit about, oh, you black American men should end up dead. Okay, what do y'all got to say about your male class of these nations who are fleeing these lands every chance they get rather than harnessing the resources to make something out of that goddamn land? What do you say about these Negroes who literally would allow their children to go out here and bleach their fucking skin and furthermore exhibit self-hate and worshiping white men? What do you say about that? What should be done with them? Since y'all have the audacity to get online and espouse these fucking talking points. Should their bodies turn up dead in rivers? Should they be dealt with? Should they not be taken out for treason, for literally selling out their goddamn land while you got all these African presidents literally shaking hands and making these corrupt deals with the Chinese leaders who is literally handing over your fucking land, letting them build bridges and infrastructure that you will never control, that you don't own? What should be done with those leaders, by the way? Since y'all think that black American men, since y'all don't like the way we deal with women when we're dating y'all, since we should be turning up dead in rivers. I'm going to let y'all ponder on that. But for now, we're going to get into the next segment, and that starts right about... Now, with that being said, this leads me to this individual right here. Why the hell did it zoom in like that? Retarded ass goddamn phone. I'm about to throw this fucking stylus in the garbage, by the way. This shit is pissing me off. Just does a whole bunch of stupid shit. Anyhow. Recently, there has been some events that have taken place between the Womansphere and Nyla Says or Nyla Vibes, as well as Taz exclusives. And I'm going to get into that in a little while. And I'm going to also be playing some video clips for y'all to listen to. Because when you truly want to know and understand why divestment has never kicked off, why it has gone absolutely nowhere, why it is a joke, it is something that is laughable. I mean, I put it in the same category as the irrelevant black churches. It serves absolutely no purpose. This is a part of the reason why. And when black women want to know why, collectively, y'all have suffered from the same results over and over again. It's because you will go out here and you will support inadequate leadership. You do not require anything out of this leadership. You do not require tangibles, which is why you've had all of these frauds been able to get online and make a killing off of y'all for all these goddamn years. Mind you now, your condition has not changed. Y'all sit back and y'all listen to people who are inconsistent, who have no integrity, who don't even know who the hell they are. And they're sitting here claiming that they want to lead you and teach you how to be better women when they themselves can't even lead themselves out of a goddamn ditch. But this is who you're following. And for whatever reason, leadership and the true demonstration to showcase that you are an adequate leader, that's not required. But as long as you entertain these women, that's good enough. And this is another reason why these movements have never gone anywhere. Y'all sit back and y'all listen to a female that wants to empower you but puts forth titles like this, should you still continue to identify as black women. Now, if y'all are so busy trying to help black women and girls, then at some point y'all should have noticed about your little girlfriend, Chris Logic, that this is a girl who has very low self-esteem. You mean to tell me none of y'all felt the need to reach out to her and say, hey, listen, you don't got to bleach your skin. You're beautiful as you are. But y'all want to be the same ones sitting here talking about colorism and all this other foolishness. But yet you have a skin bleacher. And y'all want to sit back and blame this on black men. But then again, when you look at this fucking title, this can explain how a Chris Logic can see what she is doing literally makes sense. Well, it doesn't. But according to her and what these other females that she follows, then it starts to all make sense how. But like I've told y'all before, what you are dealing with are females who are inconsistent, who have no structure, who lack integrity, who are intellectually dishonest, who are flat out fucking deceitful. The truth is not what matters to them. And this is another reason why your movements have not gone anywhere. These females are disconnected from reality. And this is why life continues to kick them in the asses over and over again and again. When you are disconnected from reality and you want to make it seem as if reality is going to be what I want it to be rather than what it is, you can't start a movement and think that it's going to go nowhere. You have to have a structure for a movement, which is what the BWE does not have. Y'all have no fucking structure. You have to have integrity, principles that you stand on. And what are your principles? Y'all have none. You're literally a group of lost, bitter, angry black females. And the only purpose of this BWE, this divestment bullshit, this failed swirling nonsense, is to spite black men. And it furthermore explains why it has gone nowhere. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to get back to that one in just a second. But I'm going to let y'all listen to some actual video clips. Because let me just say this before I actually go ahead and deal into that. Because last Sunday, Manosphere, notice how she used to go by the YouTube name Black Manosphere. Now she removed the black out of it. Now it's just Manosphere. Even though she's pro-black woman. But let's go back for a second. Doesn't want y'all to identify as black women. Once again, this is who y'all listening to. This is who you get your advice from. This is part of the reason why I can no longer post the FS Avenger website link in my description box. And until I get further information about it, what's going to happen with that website, I'm going to refrain from posting that link in my description box. However, the Manosphere decided to go forth and make a live stream talking about the brother Brian Solange, which is a brother I have a lot of respect for. Another brother that I have a lot of respect for is brother, what's his name, General Tito, if I'm saying it right. A brother who's who's been a subscriber of mine, as well as I've been a subscriber of his for many years now. But what I've told you about individuals like Manosphere, these are individuals where if they talk about certain subjects or they try to speak on certain things, they're not going to make any goddamn sense. And what she did was make a live stream. And this was like, what, I think somewhere around 5 or 7 hours. I wasn't going to sit and watch the entire thing. It's a waste of my fucking time. In that live stream, I probably got through maybe about an hour and a half of it. She mentioned about Brian Solange. Like I told y'all, she'll throw a whole bunch of shit out here and fails to drive home a point. If you're going to throw a whole bunch of shit out here, okay, at some point you got to start reeling these pieces in and making your point. Drive your point home is what I'm saying. She fails to do that. She'll throw a bunch of shit on the table and fails to make a goddamn point. Now, I'll throw a whole bunch of shit out here on the goddamn table. And I'll tell you, stick with me. Because I'm a reel in all these points and drive them home. This is another reason why I say in the intro of my videos, there's quite a bit that I got on my chest that I need to say. And we're going to be here for a little while. Therefore, I advise you Negroes, listen to me very carefully. Because there's a lot of shit I'm going to put on this goddamn table. And I'm going to bring it all in home when it's all said and done. It might be a 2.5 hour, 3 hour video. But I'm going to make sense out of all this goddamn shit. This is something that Manosphere fails to do. Miserably. Now, when it comes down to Brian Solange, she stated how he's not like the rest of the dudes in the Manosphere. He's far worse. Now, I'll say this much. Yes, he's not like the dudes in the Manosphere. He doesn't fuck with the Manosphere. So you can't compare him to the dudes in the Manosphere. But now when you say he's far worse or far more dangerous, in what way? He's just dangerous, and as dangerous as he is, imagine what he is doing with his black girlfriend or his black woman. This is what Manosphere said. Now I'm paraphrasing it to a degree. I don't remember what she said verbatim, so don't quote me to it. She has since set that live stream either to private or has removed it altogether. Now, she also stated that she's known of Brian Solange for over 7 years, which means, and I told y'all this a while ago, she knows who I am. She knew of David Carroll. Listen, I've been on YouTube longer than Brian Solange and David Carroll. So she knows good and damn well who I am. And when she's sitting here stating that Brian Solange, imagine what he's doing to his black girlfriend. You see, I understand why you can say something this fucking stupid, especially coming from an individual who lacks consistency. You have no consistency. You have no structure. You see, when it comes down to you talking about brothers like David Carroll, Brian Solange, well, you've never, at least from what I know, haven't made any reference of me. And I kind of see why you don't do it. And if you've done it, it's very vague. You really don't drive home a goddamn point because you don't know how to address individuals like myself. You see, the position that Brian Solange, myself, David Carroll, we have taken positions and we stand by that position. We don't falter or deviate from our positions, which is something that you do all the goddamn time. And I'm going to furthermore showcase that. So when you say that Brian Solange, I mean, let's just go ahead back to David Carroll for a second. One talking point that he used to always hone in on when he was alive was I can take them or leave them. I've used that talking point myself. He has stated that if you put me in front of a butt-naked female on one side and on the other side you have a box of double, triple Maduro, Camacho cigars, 10 times out of 10, I'm taking those sticks. He has never deviated away from that position. Likewise, when it comes down to Brian Solange. I believe the last time Brian Solange was in a relationship was sometime back in either 2015 or 2016. And since then, he has opted out of dealing with women in its entirety. This is another reason why he has promoted this Marlboro man lifestyle. So when I'm sitting back and I'm listening to Manosphere talk about what he's doing to his black girlfriend. What black girlfriend? He has lived this lifestyle for a number of years and has made it blatantly clear he has no interest in opting back into the dating field. Because he doesn't want to deal with the bullshit that comes with being in the dating field. So then how do you now fix your mouth after this has been made blatantly clear to say, well, can you imagine what he's doing with that girlfriend? You're a fucking idiot. So I see why you don't address brothers like that. Because you don't know how to deal with them. There's no position or frame of reference that you can actually use because you don't have one. You wouldn't know how to tackle down the goddamn position. See, what you are looking at are a group of brothers who are consistent. We stand behind a position. We don't give a fuck whether somebody agrees or disagrees with the position. This is my position. I'm going to occupy this lane. I'm not straddling both lanes. I'm taking up one lane. I'm taking up the full fucking lane. And that's where I'm at. Whether you love it or hate it, that's where I'm at. See, you on the other hand, you'll say things and you'll flip-flop from 1 minute to the next. You've done this for a number of years now. This is another reason why you've been cool with people 1 minute, you beefing with them the next minute, and then it's just foolishness. There's no consistency, and it showcases a demonstration of no structure. None. So when we sit back and find her dealing with these people, or as an example, it's not that Manosphere can't make sense out of what she's saying. And I've told y'all this last year. Because when she deals with people like people who she's been in close interaction with, in close contact with, like when she was making productions or videos about the pink pill, going off on a pink pill, she actually was able to make sense. The talking points actually added up. Why was that? Because she had a frame of reference. When she was, now recently, she's now going in on Nyla Vibes and Taz exclusives. She actually can make some sense out of it. And I'm not saying that she's right about everything that she's saying, but she actually has a frame of reference. So she can dig in on that subject matter and go into it with great detail. This is why she's running around saying, I gave them 20 stacks and they ain't never pay me back. I mean, if you're dumb enough to be giving people that you've never met before $20,000, I mean, what else can I say about you? But you actually have a frame of reference. When you attempt to go on a brother like Brian Solange, when you attempt to go on a brother like David Carroll, I've never heard you attempt to go on me. You have no frame of goddamn reference, so therefore you make no fucking sense, which furthermore explains why you decided to take that live stream down where you were talking about him, because the talking points don't add up. All you are going to have are a bunch of bitter, angry females who are going to co-sign your foolishness without being able to substantiate it. This is what we're dealing with. Once again, there's no requirement when it comes down to leadership. There's no requirement to say, listen, you need to substantiate the talking points that you are putting forth right now. They don't have to do this. And for far too long, black women have sat back and have supported inadequate leadership, people who don't know what they're talking about, people who are literally inconsistent. Let me go to this real quick. And this is why your movement has gone absolutely nowhere. But what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use my fair use disclaimer, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play some stuff for y'all. I want y'all to listen to some clips that I decided to go forth and capture. And this is going to substantiate what it is that I'm saying.
Fuck, like.
Let me go ahead and bring this back. This is going to substantiate what I mean when I say you are dealing with females who are lost. They don't understand how the world works. They don't understand reality. They fail to understand how other groups of people function. This is why this swirling movement has never gone anywhere. This is why all the females that you see running around talking this bullshit about swirling and divesting don't have a man in their lives, whether it be a black man, whether it be a white man, whether it be an Asian man. They can't get one. So let's get it.
Let y'all know my flaws. I let y'all know I ain't trying to hide shit from y'all. Like, I'm flawed as fuck. Like, I got 3 baby daddies. I'm a convicted felon. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that shit.
3 baby daddies and a convicted felon. Let me just pause it right there. Because throughout the course of Manosphere and Taz exclusives, going at it with each other, the Taz exclusives Negro stated that she's a convicted felon because she shot a black woman. I don't remember if I've ever heard this, but it would not surprise me. Now, unless he's lying about this, that really speaks volumes. Because if you claim that you are about black women's empowerment, but you got a felony, you are a convicted felon for shooting a black woman. Once again, we have established a track record that blatantly contradicts the narrative that they are attempting to perpetuate. We are talking about somebody who has 3 baby daddies. What are we dealing with? Is this who you want leading you? Well, let's continue.
Like, I done fucked up in life a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I've always been is very centered and rooted in who I was as a woman. Like, I just got, like, the world distracted me more than anything.
All right. So she says she's always been centered and rooted in who she is as a woman. Who are you as a woman? Let's keep going.
It's like, I'm telling you right now, if you don't walk where I'm at right now in life, I'm going to tell you where I'm at right now in life.
You a high bitch.
I'm believing who God says I am.
And there you have it.
And that's where I want all.
And there you have it. She just told you she was centered and rooted with who she is as a woman. And when she tried to describe who she is as a woman, I am what God wants me to be. What the fuck did she tell you? I'm going to tell you what she told you. She told you absolutely nothing. That's what she told you. She told you she don't even know who the hell she is as a goddamn woman. That's what she told you. So when y'all are sitting back listening to people like this, they don't even have a it explains how you can have titles and hold live streams talking about should we still continue to identify ourselves as black. Because you yourself don't even know who the fuck you are. This is why you're running around out here talking about I am who God want me to be. Okay, let's continue.
Meant to be. Be what God says you are. Period. Don't listen to what nobody else got to say. If the person that created you thinks you are the best thing since sliced motherfucking bread, why are you listening to anybody else? Anybody else? Be and move with what God says you are. God says you are the best. He knows every hair strand counted on your head.
Let's pause that for a second. So if you were to ask this retarded bitch, what did God tell you? She couldn't give you an answer. God says you're the best. When did he tell you this? If you were to ask her that, she couldn't tell you. If you ask this bitch, what is it that God wants you to be? She couldn't tell you. Now, once again, this is somebody that says she wants to lead black women and empower black women. She's pro-black woman first, but then at the same time doesn't want y'all to identify as black. Make this make fucking sense. You see, you are dealing with somebody who is inconsistent and has absolutely no integrity. This is just what you're dealing with. This is who you're going to have lead you. And y'all wonder why your movements have gone absolutely fucking nowhere. This BWE is pretty much is equivalent to the irrelevant dead black church. It serves no purpose. This divestment bullshit, it is equivalent to the dead irrelevant black church. It serves no fucking purpose. Because if I were to ask any of you bitches, what are y'all doing in this movement to actually empower black women? You couldn't give me not one legitimate answer. Not one. And this right here proves it. Who are you, Manosphere? I'm what God wants me to be. So, okay, so who did God tell you he wanted you to be? Or she wanted you to be? Is it a he? Is it a she? What is it? You see, when somebody starts talking foolishness like this, they're pretty much giving you an admission to failure. Regardless of whether you believe in a God or not, that's a belief system. You can't actually prove that there really is a God out here. These are facts. Nobody has been able to prove this. That's a belief system. Just like I have the belief, and y'all know where I stand when it comes down to God. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not here to tell anybody what you should and shouldn't believe in. I believe in spirituality. I believe that there's a spiritual world beyond the physical world. So when you die, that's where you'll go. And I've always claimed I don't know how it works. However, and once again, that is just a belief. I cannot substantiate that. So therefore, in the course of making the baseline for an argument, I would never use that as the basis to making an argument or substantiating a goddamn point. Why? Because it is merely a belief system. I cannot prove that this actually exists. And therefore, if I cannot prove it, I'm not going to even reference it. That is just my belief system, and that's what I believe in. You don't have to believe in this. So when you were listening to a black female get online talking about how she wants to empower black women and girls, but doesn't even know who the fuck she is as a damn woman. If you were to ask her, who are you as a black woman? She couldn't tell you. I'm what God wants me to be. What the fuck is that? Oh, whatever God says it is. Okay, what did God tell you? I don't know. See, this is the level of stupidity of what you were dealing with. You were dealing with bona fide fucking idiots. Idiots who are too stupid to comprehend reality. Idiots who are disconnected from who they are. This is why you can see them with blind flowing weave in their fucking head and they don't see that shit as a goddamn problem. Mind you now, you dark as shit with that goofy ass shit in your damn hair. Thinking you cute. The only dumbass thinking you cute is you. The whole fucking world is laughing at y'all, but y'all sitting around, you're the only one thinking that you some hot shit. I mean, this is really an embarrassment. But yet at the same time, this is what we're dealing with. This is what y'all looking up to. This is who's leading you, and once again, you wonder why you have gone absolutely nowhere. Let's continue.
That's how invested God is in you.
All right. Jesus Christ. I should have let that part play before I pause it. Because what this idiot is trying to tell you is God is so invested in you. My question to you, Manosphere, is how much did God invest in you? How much? You're a convicted felon. You're a serial baby mother with 3 baby daddies. You don't have a man in your life, and it's based off of you just don't qualify to keep a decent man in your goddamn life. You sit around on YouTube all over the internet trolling other black content creators. This is what you do. This is why you're in all these different spaces bouncing all over the fucking place. So what is it that God invested into you? What? If you were to ask her, give me a legitimate answer. Show me something of substance, something tangible, something solid that I can feel and touch and say, okay, he invested this into you. She couldn't showcase it to you. She couldn't. He invested so much into you that he let your ass become a serial baby mama. He invested so much into you that he allowed you to become a convicted felon for shooting another black woman, according to what Taz stated, if this is even true. Okay, once again, when y'all want to know why your movement has gone absolutely nowhere, this is the reason why. But let's continue.
Why would you care about what anybody else say? Why would you operate off anybody else's frequency? You supposed to be walking in this world like delusional as fuck for real. Like you supposed to be on some Kanye.
Delusional as fuck. You're supposed to be walking around this world like delusional as fuck for real. Like. See, this is a part of her vocabulary. The fact that she's even using that word like, just lets me know what we're dealing with. You're dealing with someone who doesn't have any structure. Because people who come from structure don't use that word in such in such high number in such a short period of time. They just don't. You're not dealing with somebody who has consistency. You're not dealing with somebody who has integrity. You're not dealing with someone who's even confident with what they're telling you. Because they don't even know what they're fucking talking about. This is what you're dealing with. This is why she's telling you you're supposed to be delusional. Let me just give you a little hint, black woman's fear. Well, not black woman's fear, because you don't go by that anymore now, do you? The BWE, the divestors, they are delusional. You are delusional. This is why y'all run around making no fucking sense. This is why y'all have little to no fucking results that coincide with your position. This is why you cannot substantiate that position by showcasing true, tangible results. Because you're fucking delusional. Because you are not grounded with reality. Because you don't understand how the world works and how other societies work. And since you don't know how your reputation gets damaged, and when something becomes synonymous with your reputation for the bad or for the worse, guess what? You have then damaged yourself. So when you're running around telling black women you need to be delusional and you need to be in your own frequency, no, this is one of the biggest problems when it comes down to black women. Is too many of y'all are listening to people who are telling you you need to run around being a bona fide fucking idiot And this is why y'all catch yourselves in these situations that you can't get out of. But this is who you want helping you. This is who you want leading you. Anyhow, let's continue.
Shit, you supposed to be that delusional, like, because if you believe what God says you are, you gonna be Kanye delusional. You gonna be out here in boots to your goddamn ass.
What God says you are. Let me ask any of y'all a question. Does anybody want to be in the mental state of mind that Kanye West is in? That's what I want to know. Is anybody truly trying to be in the mental state of mind of a Kanye West? Now, I'm sure people would love to have his finances, yes. But his mental state of mind, how many people really want to be the next Kanye West? Let's get it.
Ass crack. If that nigga with them tall boots one more time. One more time. You gonna be out here with boots to your goddamn ass crack, walking around thinking you could do what you want, running for president. Shit, bitches gonna be divorcing you because they like, what's wrong with this nigga? No, this nigga is exactly what the fuck he's supposed to be. You supposed to be delusional. You supposed to be out here operating on a higher frequency. And this.
All right. You're supposed to be operating on a high frequency. You know, if you're going to be doing what he's doing, you can do whatever you want, run for president. Bitches are going to be divorcing you. Well, this kind of sounds similar to your predicament. A single female can't keep a man in her life. I mean, after all, you had this picture up just a few months ago. All right, what happened to this guy? Now you don't have a man in your life. You see, you do this dumb shit if you want to end up in her predicament. If you want to be like this fucking hood rat that we are looking at, this fucking bust down, then yeah, do what she's doing. Listen to her advice. Someone who's ill-equipped to give you legitimate advice. The only thing Womansphere can do at this point in time, you are the epitome of what not to do. You can't guide black women on what to do and how they can have a success level because you haven't had any. That's why. You have now become the epitome of what not to do. And right here, once again, just look at the title. Once again, I mean, that's all that tells me enough. And y'all wonder why y'all hearing the shit y'all hearing. Let's get into the next clip. Because I got a couple of things I got to let y'all listen to before I wrap this up.
Somebody that, you know, I come along and I find somebody that, you know, is really embracing themselves, unapologetically themselves as well too. I can't help but I fuck with that energy. And you a black woman, and it's like that's what I am.
That's what I'm saying, y'all. I want to be like y'all, like literally, man. I am a Sagittarius.
You hear her? I want to be like y'all, I want to, like, God believes in me, like. What the fuck is wrong with this high motherfucker? But what do you hear on the live stream? Another black female embracing this hood rat behavior. I fucks with that. And y'all wonder why y'all find yourselves in the predicament that y'all are in. Because you follow fucking failures. Logic and reasoning is something that many of y'all don't want to listen to because it takes work to actually apply it. But listening to a hood booger get online and espouse foolishness in these ghetto ratchet fucking stories, this is what garners your attention. But then again, at the same time, y'all want to sit up here and put this shit on black men for why your image is down the tubes the way it is. All right, let's keep going.
Serious, man. I am like flighty as fuck. That's why y'all see me one minute, like I just said the other day, I don't want to date no more. I'm sick of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling y'all, like, I'm flighty. I change my mind quick, but I don't have no problem in being who I am. You know what I'm saying? It's other people that got a problem with me being who I am. It's not me. Like, I'm cool here. Like, I'm
Do you not see what the problem is? Do you see what the problem is? And this is supposed to be a man's fault. A man is supposed to deal with this. And I'm not talking about just black men. I'm talking about men of any race. Is this what a man of means is supposed to put up with? A female who's flighty, who changes her mind at the drop of a dime, who has no consistency. And these would be the same females that are pissed off with black men for not wanting to date them. These would be the same females who will get online and trash black men. These would be the same females who will get online and claim that they want to lead black women to the promised land with what? A person who has no integrity. And when I say integrity, that means you take a fucking position and you stand behind that fucking position. It is similar to if you deal with a woman that will go out and date a man and get into a relationship with a man and break up with him a week later. And I just decided I don't want to be with him anymore. And then you into another relationship with somebody else. That's not somebody that you get with. Because this is a person who doesn't have any integrity. Because a woman who has integrity says, okay, I'm in this relationship. Maybe there's some things happening that I don't agree with right now, but I'm going to at least put the good effort to try to work through this shit before I decide to make the conclusion that I need to end the relationship. They take the position and they do what they have to do. They stand by the fucking position. You are dealing with an individual who is flip-flopping all over the goddamn place. And she pretty much explained what I just told y'all about why y'all would see her on these different live streams. 1 minute she's beefing with somebody, the next minute she's cool with the very same person she was beefing with a while ago. It makes no fucking sense. And when y'all want to know why your movements have gone absolutely nowhere, because these are the people that you are listening to. These are the people that you're saying, well, these people, they really know what they're talking about. I learned so much from them. No, they are an example of what not to do. But we're going to keep going.
Perfectly fine. Like, I deal with y'all like how I deal with my friends in real time. I be telling y'all shit. Like, girl, let me tell you about this date. Like, I be talking to y'all, kicking it with y'all. And it's like I could tell, I'm telling y'all, niggas can't stand me. Black men can't stand me. So that really was just the energy between me and Taz. He really just didn't like me. He didn't like me. Like, because I'm I'm an untamable ass bitch. Like, you can't tame me. Like, nigga, I will be in your bed one day and the next day I would decide to never talk to you again. And then I might be in something, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm flighty. I might say I want to be with you and then put you on a block. Like, and I feel like I can do whatever I want to do. So it's like, even if men aren't dating me, y'all, when they come in contact with a bitch like me, it's that same energy that men give Jada Pinkett. That same energy, cause I'm telling you, in life, I move, like, I be showing everybody love. I be giving compliments like, hey, how you doing, baby? How you doing? Like, I have the same delusion these ashy ass Tyrones got.
Brothers, let me tell you something right now. When you come across a female that's all over the place like that lacks integrity, that lacks consistency, that pretty much would change up with the weather, that has a temperature retention rate, that of aluminum foil, that is someone that you stay the hell away from. It is just that simple. And the reason why I will say the temperature retention rate of aluminum foil, because aluminum foil changes temperature just like the goddamn wind. As a matter of fact, aluminum foil is what's used on car radiators. Even though they can make car radiators out of steel or cast iron, they don't. They choose not to. There's a reason for that. Why? Because they want that car radiator to be able to cool down the engine as quickly as possible. Therefore, they don't want it to be able to retain heat. They want it to release heat. Release the heat into the atmosphere, cool down the coolant that's going or circulating through that radiator, and push it back into the engine to bring the temperature down. Some people will say that they prefer baseboard radiators, which really isn't a radiator, or aluminum finned convectors, all for the sole purpose that when the heat shuts off, it no longer produces heat. It will cool down and go down to room temperature real fast as far as the actual heat exchanger itself is concerned. I'm saying all of this for a reason. Because these things, they don't retain temperature. They go along with what the climate is, what the environment is. If it's hot, guess what? It'll be hot. The heat exchanger will be hot if it's not in operation. If it's cold, if the heat exchanger is not in operation, it's going to get cold. It'll go along with the room temperature. And this is very indicative to what we are looking at when it comes down to Womansphere. Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to a degree. But what it lets you know, when it comes down to taking a position based off of your blackness, you cannot have somebody that switches up along with the goddamn wind. No, absolutely not. See, me on the other hand, brothers like David Carroll, Brian Solange, we're the type of brothers, no, listen. You could put me in the cast iron league or the steel league. Why? Because once I get hot, doesn't matter what the temperature of the room gets, this is my position. I'm generating heat. If I get cold, doesn't matter if the room heats up, I'm producing cool temperatures. Why? Because this is the position I'm staying on. I'm straddling this lane. Someone who can switch up with the temperature like aluminum foil is nobody that you need to be sitting down, listening to, taking advice from. These are people who are all over the fucking place. They have no integrity. They have no consistency. The most consistent thing about them is that they will switch up in a drop of a dime. And let me go back to when it comes down to this whole God piece. When she's sitting there talking, I'm what God wants me to be. That is an admission of failure. That is someone who is literally telling you they don't have any answers for you. They don't have a goddamn clue. So therefore, I'm leaving it in the hands of God. Which is another reason why if you go into the black churches, they are mainly filled with a bunch of reformed failures who really aren't even reformed when it comes down to being failures. They just found some place to go ahead and congregate. But you're dealing with people who are admitting to failure. It's an admission of failure. So when Womansphere tells you I'm what God wants you to be, first of all, if you know what you're doing when it comes down to leading black women, you don't need to talk about God in order to forget about whether you believe in a God or not. If somebody asks you who you are, you can give them an answer right away. You are a 40-plus-year-old female who's either in her mid to late 40s, and yet you mean to tell me you can't even identify who the fuck you are? Then furthermore, it explains why. You would see something like this. And then when you see shit like this, then when you listen to all this goofy shit and you tie it all in together about what God want me to be, then it all makes sense. Because you don't even know who the fuck you are. And if you don't know who the fuck you are, then explain to me how the hell are you supposed to lead black women anywhere? Now, if y'all want to continue down the path of failure, keep listening to somebody like this. Take them seriously. I'm going to follow Womansphere because she knows what she does. No, she don't. She couldn't lead you any goddamn where. But anyhow, there's more audio that I want you to, or video clips that I want y'all to listen to. Fair use disclaimer as usual. And there's two more that we got to get through. Now, this one comes from the Taz channel. Now, y'all know I don't like this nigga. But I got to play some stuff on this. Let me let that go back down so I can play this to the beginning. Get the fuck out my way. Because I want y'all to hear this right now. And this is really going to substantiate. I want to make something perfectly clear. A lot of you black women fail to realize how how damage becomes synonymous with your image. There are a lot of attractive black women out here right now who are drop dead gorgeous, who don't have men in their lives, who are not married and most likely will never become married because they have damaged their reputation and they have allowed dysfunction to become synonymous with their reputation. And many of y'all don't even realize how you do it. Why? Because what many of you are doing, you are listening to these older, washed up, used up, ran through black females, and you are allowing them to lead you astray. Let's just face it. Many of y'all don't want to die single. Many of you don't. Many of you don't want to be alone. A man is more or less built to handle being alone in a solitary lifestyle before a woman. That's just what it is. So when you are listening to bitter females who know that they have failed and have fucked up, and now they are telling you, well, you know what? You need to embrace being by yourself. Well, do it if you have to is what I would tell you. But if you don't need to, and you can have a companion in your lifestyle, then it is what it is. But listening to a female who's trying to tell you otherwise, I don't want to date no more because I'm tired of men and I'm tired of nakers. Okay. That's someone who is bitter and is trying to drag you down the same path and pull you into the same ditch that they know they can no longer get out of. But I want y'all to thoroughly listen to what's taking place in this live stream. Because like I told you before, the Manosphere and Taz and Nyla Vibes, they've been going at it. And listen, I'm all for it. I'm going to sit back and listen to all of this goddamn bull. Well, I'm not going to get through any 8-hour live streams. Fuck that. Y'all know me. I ain't got that kind of patience. But there was some pretty much what you're going to listen to is going to correlate into the final video clip that I'm going to let you listen to. And what I'm going to showcase is how this becomes synonymous with her reputation. But let's play it.
So I know that they was mad.
First of all, I want you to demonstrate. Let me pull that back for a second. I want y'all to understand we're once again listening to a drunk high bitch getting on live streams. This is a serial baby mother, from what I know, at least has a bare minimum of 3 children, who's getting on live streams, drunk as fuck, high as hell. I mean, this is literally what we're dealing with, and they can't see how this damages their reputation. Let's go.
So I know that they was mad. Y'all, I did cut up over there. I ain't gonna lie. Just so y'all know, your homegirl wasn't over there on her best behavior. I cut up on Clyde Panel because these niggas is gay, man. They gay. And I put some shit out there that lets me know these niggas is gay. These niggas is gay.
Maybe this is where she's saying I stole her content or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this was her content to call these niggas gay. Well, no, it can't be. Because she's looking for Bullets Gotti, who said a man could bust in his mouth. Or he'll bust in a man's mouth. Some old weird ass shit. So, yeah, maybe this is the confusion. You know, you sit up there looking for a gay man while saying these niggas are gay. It's weird as fuck.
These niggas is meeting up.
Let me pause it. Because the one thing I also want to just make perfectly clear is this whole tobacco, this back and forth, this is equivalent to the pot calling the kettle black. All right? I just want to put that out there before I go any further.
You niggas meeting for in your Sunday's best. Suge was over there meeting Chris.
Suge was meeting Chris. You said these niggas gay. You said Suge was meeting Chris and these niggas gay. In his Sunday's best, huh?
Yeah, man.
The same Suge nigga you on this panel now?
The same Suge nigga you on this panel now? Yeah, my nigga. I be Taz the GOAT, my nigga. Okay.
That Suge, that dead bitch, that Suge, that stalker Suge, that weirdo Suge, him. The nigga you sitting up there chilling with now, Suge. Oh, you're a dumb bitch.
Okay, let's pause that. I told y'all. 1 minute she's beefing with somebody, the next minute she's chilling with them. Now, listen, I'm assuming that this audio or this live stream, I don't know where they got it from, but I'm assuming that this was done sometime back in 2020. All right? And she must have been beefing with Suge at that point in time. Now, Suge is another YouTube creator or content creator. But what I caught wind of on her most recent productions, on her most recent live streams, she's on a live stream chilling with Suge. Now, as I've told you, you are dealing with individuals who have no integrity and no consistency. The only thing that is consistent about an individual like this is that they are inconsistent. Now, back in 2015, when I had my fallout with Tommy Sotomayor, I've referenced this time and time again. Some of my original detractors who were making response videos to me, making roasting videos, showed up along on the comment thread after I made my initial videos addressing what had taken place between me and Tommy. Literally saying, hey man, would you like to be on my live stream so we could discuss this? And this happened on multiple different occasions. I made it blatantly clear, no, I don't do that. I'm not doing that. Why? Because if you're my enemy, the enemy of my enemy is not my friend. Therefore, we're not cool with each other. Therefore, we're not going to sit here and be buddying it up. We're not doing that. Anything that I need to say about this man, I will do it on my platform. And that's just the way that's going to be. But I'm not going to be beefing with somebody 1 minute and then the next minute we cool and fuck that shit. Because once I know where you are, it's a matter of I take a position. I'm going to take a lane. I'm not going to straddle 2 lanes. I'm going to take up a lane and I'm going to stay in that fucking lane. And that's just where I'm going to be. So love me or hate me. Agree with my position, disagree with my position, but you know where my position stands. We know where that brother stands, whether we love him or hate him. And as a matter of fact, I remember seeing on the comment thread of one of the videos of one of my detractors, and it was a black female that stated this because it was a video where they were going up against me, and that female stated, "Listen, we don't like neither one of the mofos." And at that time, she was talking about both myself and David Carroll. She said, "We don't like neither one of the mofos. But at the end of the goddamn day, we know where they fucking stand. You, on the other hand, are all over the goddamn place." So when I tell you that I've been saying this for more than 7 or 8 fucking years now, the problem that takes place with a lot of these Negroes online is that they have no structure and no integrity. My initial statement, this was toward black men. And it was a black female that pretty much confirmed what I already was stating. We don't like neither one of the mofos. But at the end of the day, we know where they fucking stand. That's a matter of having consistency. And whether you love me or hate me, you can respect me based off of the fact that you know where I'm coming from. You Negroes, on the other hand, nobody knows where the fuck y'all coming from. 1 minute you hot, the next minute you cold, like I told y'all. They have a temperature retention rate or the equivalence of aluminum foil. If it's hot outside, they're going to be hot. If it's cold, they're going to be cold. If it's mild, they're going to be mild. If it's lukewarm, it's going to be lukewarm. That's just what it's going to be. They have no consistency and no integrity. The most consistent thing about them is the fact that they are inconsistent. Let's get it.
You're dumb.
Man, Suge was over there meeting Chris and his Sunday's best, y'all. Like, these niggas is pulling up, meeting niggas in they Sunday's motherfucking best. I cannot. You niggas ain't fooling nobody. And you the niggas that sit around here crying and whining about women all day, all the time. It's always a problem with women.
Slurring her fucking voice.
All the time.
But you pulling up, meeting niggas. And your Sunday's best. Yeah, boo.
Easter Sunday.
We see what it is. We understand. We ain't tripping though. You know, you like what you like, you know.
I'm tripping.
But why is y'all around here harassing the fuck out of bitches?
Mm-hmm.
If you niggas like dick, just take your ass over there and like dick. I like dick too.
Listen to that. Now, I believe this is a live stream that goes, back from 2 years ago. I don't know where he found this from. I don't know how they got their hands on this audio. But if just as easily as they found it, I'm sure other people can find audio clips like this. But anyhow, like I said, when it comes down to knowing what becomes synonymous with your reputation, black woman, and how you damage your reputation, just keep on listening, because I'm going to demonstrate it for you.
I loved it.
Whoa.
So, I kind of understand why you would like the dick.
Whoa,
you know?
Whoa. Slow down a little bit, fam. Like, you're starting to sound a little less BWE and a little more slutty tonight. You know what I'm saying? The slut bucket coming up out of you. Like, I don't want to hear about how much you like dick. All right, go sit your little nasty ass down somewhere. But see, again, that's these motherfuckers who sit up here and try to play games with me. Like you've ever heard me talk like this. Now, see, now we finna get into slut bucket 101. Because Tad don't rock like this, fam. I don't want to hear no woman talking like this. You sound like a nasty whore to me talking like this, dog. Watch your motherfucking mouth when grown men around. Watch your motherfucking mouth when grown ass men are in the room. I don't even know what to call you. You're talking like a goddamn
nigga. Yeah, I mean the Taz go exclusive, my nigga.
Man, like you sound like a fucking dude.
Know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you like a dick? Why wouldn't you?
Lord,
why wouldn't you?
Lord,
it's hard, it's stiff, it's rugged, it penetrates. Like,
and this is what I need y'all not to do. Okay, this is man worship. You understand why these motherfuckers can't be BWE content creators for real? Because the truth come out on them. They die horrible deaths fucking with me. I'm telling women, don't sound like this. You better not be sitting around cherishing no goddamn phallus. That's how we got here now, right? That's why they doing the content they do now. You sitting around with a dick in your hand looking at that motherfucker like, oh my God, it's the gold.
Hold on one second, Dad. No. Because now it's all of a sudden starting to dawn on me. And I don't know how this shit suddenly slipped my mind. But back in 2020, what's her name? Cluster B, the Cookie Monster, Nubian Narcissist, whatever she goes by, was making endless videos and live streams going in on Nyla Vibes, Black Womansphere, and Taz exclusives. And one of the things that she kept constantly emphasizing on was that, you know, you sit up here and you talk about Womansphere, and listen, I agree. What you're saying about her is spot on. There's no reason for a grown-ass female to be sitting up here talking like this on no fucking live stream. I don't give a fuck what you're doing, how much dick you like sucking or whatever. Do that shit behind the closed doors. We don't all need to know that shit. But when you got a female sitting up here talking like this, but weren't you the same guy, according to what Cluster B was stating, that was sending black women pictures of greasy, shiny dick pics? At some point, I'm going to need you to make sense out of that one there. Wasn't you the same guy? And I remember seeing these videos from back in 2019, who was ready to up and leave your wife so you could go live with another woman all the way in Seattle? What's it, uppity unicorn? Wasn't you that same dude? Now, listen, from what I know about her, she was living with family. And when she mentioned the only thing you was going to bring over was going to be your Xbox and a duffel bag. So what were you planning on showing up with to go stay with this woman other than an Xbox, a duffel bag, and a greasy dick in your hands? I mean, once again, the audacity, the hypocrisy. This is equivalent to the pot calling the kettle black. But this is what you're dealing with right now. Is a Negro who wants to sit up here and act as if he's holier than thou. And if I'm not mistaken, weren't you sitting up on live streams having bitches gawking at a shiny dick pic? Once again, these Negroes take positions that they have no consistency on. They have no sound track record on. The hypocrisy is blatant. But anyhow, we're going to keep on going.
Phallus. Man, stop, dog. This is 100% outright, without a doubt, man worship. And this is the problem. This is the problem. The man worship is the fucking problem. You can think this all you want. Saying it out loud, let niggas know they ain't got to do a motherfucking thing but show up with a dick.
Wait a second.
You're fucking...
Weren't you the same one that was getting ready to show up at Uppity Unicorn's place where she was living with family with nothing but a PS4, a duffel bag, and a greasy dick in your hand? Let's run that one more time. Listen, Taz, weren't you the same one who was getting ready to... I'm not going to call you Taz Exclusives or the GOAT, because there's nothing great about your ass, period. I mean, when you got a grown-ass Negro sitting up here saying, hey, my nigga, I'm hashtag divesting from black men. You can sit your ass the fuck down and shut up. You're a fucking clown to hear a black man talking like this. It's an embarrassment. But weren't you the same dude who was ready to up and leave your wife so you can take your black ass all the way to Seattle with nothing but a duffel bag, a PS4, and greasy balls in your hand? Weren't you the same one, getting ready to do the same shit you are now chastising Manosphere for doing? I mean, nigga, are you fucking serious? This is what we're dealing with. And let me just tell you something, because I remember there was a clip or snippet to when Uppity Unicorn came across Nyla Vibes. And I listened to that entire thing, and what I gathered from that was Nyla Vibes, and of course she went by the name of Nyla Says, still has a channel up to this day. But what she did was the minute she got on that live stream and started having a discussion with the Uppity Unicorn, I can automatically hear the aggression in her voice, the disdain in her voice, just being disrespectful. Kind of like the same shit that Nyla Vibes does now. When people call into her panels and she starts saying, what do you want, Naker? Just being condescending and disrespectful. And when I heard this immediately, I said, okay, now I have no way to substantiate none of what I've heard on either end. But just based off of those actions alone, I said, okay, what this sounds to me is that you're jealous. You're pissed off. That your man, your husband, was ready to up and leave you and go all the way to the west coast of the United States with nothing but a PS4, a duffel bag, and a greasy dick in his hand to go stay with another female, to go live with her and her goddamn family. What the fuck does that say about your man? What is it saying about the two of these individuals, Nyla Vibes and the GOAT Taz exclusives? What is this telling you? That these niggas ain't even got their fucking shit together. That you ready to up and listen, if the only thing, you moving in with a goddamn woman, the only thing you can bring is a greasy dick, greasy balls, and a fucking duffel bag with a PlayStation 4. Man, nigga, you ain't got your shit on point. They ain't nothing else to be discussed here. But anyhow, let's continue going on with this.
Dumb. You're a dumb slut bucket pretending to be BWE.
Well, you're right about that.
Quit playing. It's gonna get ugly, man. Get your shit ready to record. I'm gonna give y'all some clips today. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to say, look, I can't believe he called her this. You'll get a few chances today. Because I don't do slut bucket content. And I don't respect women who get out on Front Street and say, yeah, I fucked him. Yeah, I suck his dick. Yeah, I love to get fucked from the back. Listen. Okay, that should not be what black women make their faces the face of.
Well, they
of being fucked.
They do, and here's a problem, Taz exclusive. See, you can't say nothing about this now all of a sudden because you've been rocking with this bitch for what 2 to 3 fucking years as she was doing this. She's always been this way. That's the one thing, I can smell you Negroes coming from a goddamn mile away. So when I sit back and I listen to you guys supposed to be saying this and represent the black woman, I can't go, nigga. Shut the fuck up. Because you were rocking with this bitch as she was sitting up on panels calling black men bitches, just like you do with Cynthia G. You stay on a panel where they absolutely disrespect black men, talk about aborting black boys. This is the shit you sat up here and you endorsed. This is not the first time she's spoken like this. She talked about bouncing up and down on black phallus for years now, and you've had no problem with it. Now all of a sudden it's a problem and you want to be, this is the image of black women. Nigga, what you gonna say something while y'all were cool? Or do you have a problem with it now due to the fact that she's now calling your ass out? Once again, this is equivalent to the pot calling the kettle black. Let's get it.
Somebody's sex demon? Like, black men already have that image. So don't put that fucking image on black women where they just coming out Front Street saying, yeah, man, I love to get fucked. I love to eat dick every day. Like, man, shut your motherfucking ass up and take that shit somewhere in private. The fuck are you doing? But how could these motherfuckers be BWE and want to empower black women if they telling you to go out here and act like niggas?
Why wouldn't you like a dick? I'm trying to figure it out.
And let me just say this much. I agree with what this fuck nigga right now is saying. I agree with you. The problem is I have a problem with who it's coming from. Okay? I have a problem with this. Because the fact of the matter is you knew this all along about this female. You knew this. But y'all sat up on panels, chopping it up. Y'all sat up on panels, watching her disrespect black men. Y'all sat up on panels, watching them engage in fuck shit day in and day out. And you didn't say nothing. For years. You didn't say nothing. You were cool. Now all of a sudden you got something to say after y'all done had a goddamn fallout. Now all of a sudden, oh, we got to be morally conscious of black women. We can't have to be with their image. But what we see is the epitome and the example of black women doing what? Damaging their own reputation. But yet y'all sit up here and y'all talk about nakers every chance y'all get. Y'all talk about black men, but y'all take no responsibility or accountability. And if you were so concerned about this, you should have said something as it was happening. If I'm not mistaken, this was going on since 2020. This live stream that you're playing the audio of, that happened back in 2020. If I would have asked you to pull up the goddamn date on that shit, it probably would predate back to 2020. So then my question to you, because you've been cool with this ratchet ass hood rat for more than 4 fucking years now. Since 2018, y'all been sitting on panels chopping it up. You didn't have a problem as long as you was getting money from her, according to what she's stating, if that's true. But now all of a sudden, you're so concerned about the image. You don't want black women to have the image of being sex slaves. Okay. But you got a bunch of other black women who write whorish, sleazy, slutty novels about being the white man's whore. Are you that adamant about that as well? See, this is what lets you know whether these niggas got any consistency or any integrity. Because if this is the case and this is how you truly feel, then you're going to start with this at its goddamn core. Now, once again, I don't have a problem with him calling Manosphere out. But once again, this is equivalent to the pot calling the kettle black. But let's keep going.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Man worship.
Dick is beautiful.
Man worship.
Like,
wow.
The dick I suck is the most, it's actually, like, to be honest with y'all, the dick I suck is the most beautiful dick I've ever seen in my life. But shit, the dick I suck is actually attached to a 26-year-old man. I don't play no games. I'm a whole cougar over here.
All right. With that being stated, if you ever want to know what becomes damaging to your reputation, well, here you have it. You know, for years now, I've listened to black women say, well, your mama black. Didn't you come from a black woman? And yet you have a whole mother who at least has 3 children talking like this. Talking about sucking the dick of a 26-year-old, admitting that she's a whole cougar. You were dealing with a washed up, rundown female, somewhere around her mid to late 40s, talking about this. But I'm going to let this clip play out, and then I'm going to go ahead and give you what I got to say about that. Let's go.
A whole hooger? A whole hooger? You said Freddy Krueger. You said you bought a Ruger. What? No, she said she a whole cougar. Right? Let's make sure we heard this shit right. The audacity, the nerve to be fucking with me. And you're a whole cougar. A pedo, in other words.
You, why wouldn't you? Dick is beautiful. Like, the dick I suck is the most, it's actually, like, to be honest with y'all, the dick I suck is the most beautiful dick I've ever seen in my life. But shit, the dick I suck is actually attached to a 26-year-old man. I don't play no games. I'm a whole cougar over here.
The thing that she does that to is...
All right. We don't got to listen to no more of that. He did an 8-hour live stream on this hood rat. I'm only going to let you listen to 8 minutes of it. As I told y'all, I'm not about to sit here and go to no 8-hour fucking live stream. This shit is ridiculous. Because this right here is very telling of who and what we're looking at. You have a mother. And I don't want to hear no black woman coming to me ever saying, well, your mama black. No, because just because your mama black doesn't mean she actually did a good job raising you. If this is who your mother is this someone that you can say you're proud of? Not for 1 second. This is a female who was talked hella shit about black men. And I can care less if she's dealing with a 26-year-old at the age of 26. You're old enough to make your own goddamn decisions. But still, I know the reason why a female like this would deal with a 26-year-old. She's railed against black men for years. And you mean to tell me when you do decide to go out and date a black man, you can't get you someone that's in your own age bracket? Or someone who's at least in their 30s? You have to go try to find the youngest type of dude that you can find. And then when you just simply think about her circumstances, it's not like she's a childless woman in her 40s dating a man that's 26 years old. And we know the person that she's talking about is a black man. We know this. You are a serial baby mama with 3 baby daddies, a convicted felon. And furthermore, I mean, I didn't record everything else that was involved with this. But according to what she states, that these young dudes be hooked on her pussy. She says something along to that degree. Here you have a grown, dusty, washed up female, drunk as fuck, high as a kite, on a fucking live stream saying this. Now, once again, you're raising children. According to what she stated, she has 2 boys. Young boys, and a daughter. Now, I don't know if she has a 4th child. I know she has 3 children. And you're online talking like this. And when you see a female under these circumstances, in this condition or in this predicament, finding young black guys that they can date, there's a reason why they do this. And they do this because they know no older man will put up with their bullshit. Because older men will see right through that garbage. But younger guys, if she can just put this snatch on him, if she can give him access to some of that dungeon in between her legs, whip a little of this on him, or sniff a little some of this is going all it's going to take to get his ass hooked on her. And this is what they're going to do. And they know for the most part, these dudes don't have the brain capacity to be able to challenge them on their bullshit. He's not going to want to get under her bad skin because he's going to be afraid of losing access to what's in between her fucking legs. So therefore, he's never going to call her out. He's never going to challenge her. And this is exactly what they want. This might not happen to be the same Negro that you stated about 2 years ago, that you woke up one morning and listened to him counting, the count of him swishing money. Or the sound of him counting money on the bed. Is this the same dude back in 2020? See, the reason why they like these young dudes is that, once again, young dudes aren't going to challenge them. Inexperienced men aren't going to challenge them. Mind you now, she could sit up here and be an entire ratchet bust down. And that young dude's not going to he's not going to check her. She could go out here and have a history of dating nothing but white guys. And that young dude he's gonna look past that. Why? Because his mind is not developed. They want naive guys that they can easily pump their head up in the bedroom with sex, and they'll give them nothing but sex. Keep your ass mesmerized and hypnotized with that nasty snatcher between your legs. And based off of that alone, despite the fact that she's a ratchet hood rat, she's a bust down, a fucking smut bucket. And this is just based off of her own talking points. That dude is not going to check that. It usually doesn't take black men into quite a while until they can actually realize that a lot of y'all come from mothers who wasn't shit to begin with. This is why these hood rats try so hard to say, ain't your mama black? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. If she did a piss poor fucking job, then the bitch don't deserve respect. Not everyone that's a black mother deserves respect of being a mother. Don't come to me about her being black. If you're going to talk about my mama being black, then talk about, well, what? Tell me what they've done. If you can say that a black woman did a good job raising a black child, that's a reason to say you should respect your mother. Don't come to me saying I need to respect. No, get out of here. Just because they black? Are you serious? Because if this is what your mama is doing and leaving live streams like this up, now they found this shit. I don't know where they found it from. But just as easily as they found it, somebody else can scroll through this shit and find her fucking live streams and see even more shit of her saying stuff like this. And I captured even more video clips. I got another video clip I'm going to let y'all listen to. And you're going to listen to the type of ratchet thought, the type of bust down that she really is. And this furthermore explains why she would have an image like this as her backdrop of her channel. An image of shined up, dick sucking lips, glazed up and ready to glide. And when I say glide, we know what I mean. She ready to glide them lips down some white boy's shaft. This is literally what she's advertising. This is a whole mother talking like this, displaying shit like this, putting pictures up here like this. And they'll go ahead and they'll deal with these young dudes, no matter what their level of dysfunction is. Because it wouldn't surprise me if she was dealing with a dope boy. And then when that don't work out, or when he finally wisens up and says, nah, I can do better than this, all of a sudden now you niggas ain't shit. You nakers, this and that. Fuck y'all. This is what you end up getting. Hypocrisy. Inconsistency. And around that time, this is when she was talking about how she would still ride on black phallus and how she was done with the white peen. Then I catch wind just last year, late last year, as much as she said she got tired of flossing and dealing with white men. What does she mean when she says this? Flossing. She's tired of flossing pubic hairs in her mouth. I mean, what type of a bust down gets online and says shit like this? Letting the whole fucking world know that you sucking on white dicks. Who fucking does this? But you got far too many of these hood rats who get online and expose this. Man, listen, once again, my question to Taz exclusive. Hey, my nigga, how you gonna say that and meet this? We can't have black women. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. Because this was going on back in 2020. You didn't have your fallout with her until sometime mid last year, 2021. And here you listen to this entire hood rat sitting up talking like this. Did you have something to say then? I mean, this is an entire mother of at least 3 children talking like this. At what point did you have a problem with what she was saying? Talking about flossing with the white man's pubic hairs in her goddamn mouth. When do you not see that as a fucking problem? This explains the goofy shit we are looking at within this image right here. The silly shit that takes place. Date night? Are you serious? All right, let's get into the last clip that I want to let y'all listen to. Fair use, fair use.
I am come. Okay, I am come. I don't know what they be looking for. They be looking for us to act right and do the best thing. Like, we don't give a fuck about y'all. Who got to be on their best behavior when they in their house?
By the way, let me just make this clear. This is from a live stream that she produced late last year. Shortly after David Carroll passed, shortly after her making her live streams on David Carroll. And this, well, I'm going to let y'all listen to it for yourself. It's about 2 minutes or less, 2 minutes and 29 seconds. I'm going to let y'all hear it.
I got to be on my best behavior when I'm in my house smoking a blunt. I got to be on my best behavior. Fuck y'all.
Once again, just take a look at the image. Fake ass eyelashes, glossed up, greasy, dick sucking lips. I mean, what is she trying to display here? What is she displaying here? Let's go.
Nigga be in the next room waiting to get his dick sucked, not worrying about none of you niggas. Okay. So I don't know why y'all worried about me.
Okay. Who's nigga?
Like, I don't even know why y'all worried about me. That nigga sitting in the next room waiting to get his dick sucked and y'all on here mad. It's not going down like that. Trust me. Trust me.
Now we can see why them lips are.
I done been on videos with Dean, and Dean because Dean is a gamer, and he be playing this game fucking kikiing and laughing. While I'm sitting up calling white men mayo sandwiches. Listen, you not gonna be able to interfere in my real life. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Let me pause that for a second. So now we can make the assumption that Dean is a white guy, but she will confirm it for us. I'm not gonna say it. She can confirm it.
And he asked me, did I think he was a mayo sandwich? And yes, sir, you are. You absolutely are. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what y'all want. We crack jokes, we laugh, we have fun, and that's it.
So she confirmed it.
I am cold. I sure did. Called Dean a whole mayo sandwich, sitting right in the next room, honey.
Mayo sandwich.
And he asked me, did I think he was one? Yes, sir, you are. Or a mayo sandwich. You're right. What do you want? Snow possum?
She confirmed it.
Like, I mean, what do you want from me? Marshmallow? I mean, you're a white man.
All right, I'm gonna let that play out.
I mean, all he did was laugh.
You wonder why he's laughing.
That's why I be saying, I don't know what these whole little situations that people create on the internet, I can tell that they have never really did what they saying, like dating outside of their race when it comes to that. You ain't did that.
So I'm going to assume that this is Dean right here. I'm going to ask you the question. Y'all just heard that shit for yourselves. What's wrong with that picture? Black women, as I've told y'all, if you ever want to know how you literally damage your reputation and what is damaging to your reputation, there you have it right there. One of the biggest problems with a lot of y'all is you are too busy trying to compete against men when it comes down to who can sleep with the most people. And that is a game or a battle that you'll never win. You'll never go up against us in that aspect and win, ever. I promise you that much. Because when that becomes synonymous that you are reckless, like, listen, let me make this perfectly clear. Nothing's wrong with being a freak in the bed behind closed doors, but there's a reason why they say they want a lady in the streets and a freak in the bed. You don't go advertising to the entire fucking world your sexual adventures. You just don't do shit like that. Here you have a black female who is making live streams talking about other black women. And she was talking about this whole Nyla situation at that time. That's what this live stream was about. And here you are addressing other black females and other black YouTube content creators while claiming that you have Dean, a white guy, waiting in the other room, sitting in the other room, waiting to get his dick sucked. Is this, my question to y'all, is this who y'all are willing to listen to? Is this who you want to let lead you? Is this who you believe is a legitimate source of information to come to? You are dealing with an entire bust down, which is another reason why it then makes sense why you can see her doing stupid shit like this. A female with no respect for herself does this retarded shit. And once again, when y'all run around, when black women say, well, ain't your mama black? So are you telling me that someone like this deserves respect because she's a black mother? Because she's raising black children? Because in many cases, y'all fail to realize how this is damaging to your reputation. To go out here, and I want y'all to think about this for a second. Y'all talk about white men and how they're that much better. And this shit is just blatant hypocrisy at this point in time. But you're advertising your lips being shined up so you can suck his dick. I mean, this is the shit y'all do. This ain't me saying this. This is y'all doing this shit. But the times when y'all actually have one with y'all, she's not mentioning how she has Dean, the white guy, waiting in the other room to take her black ass out on a nice romantic dinner, to take her out on a nice horse and carriage ride, to take her out on a date or someplace nice or wine her and dine her. She's not mentioning that. She's talking about how this man is sitting up in the other room waiting for her to come suck his dick. Who fucking says this? And then you... Let me calm down. Then you sisters wonder why you're not respected. You wonder why you don't have success when it comes down to interracial dating. And she mentions how, he's sitting in the other room, he's just laughing. I say these things to him, and you don't even realize why the fuck he's laughing. He's not laughing with you, he's laughing at you. Because he knows you're a whole bust down. He knows there's only one thing I can do. I can use this bitch's mouth as a fucking cum dumpster, and that's it. A cum receptacle. A fucking sperm bank. That's what you are. This ain't me saying this. This is what you've conveyed. I mean, what type of sleazy, raunchy bitch sits up and says this? Now, back in 2020, she's talking about how a black man's phallus was the prettiest dick she ever sucked on. This is the dumb shit she comes out and says. To sit up here and talk about how a year later, how she has a whole white man waiting in the other room to get his dick sucked. And a dumb bitch like this fails to even realize how she fucks up her reputation. Listen, let me make something perfectly clear, Angela, Womansphere, whatever the fuck you want to go by. You are an embarrassment to black women. You're the type of female that's going to get older, and as your children get older, especially your boys, and they really come to grips, and I've told y'all years ago, for a lot of you black men to understand why you ain't shit, you first have to comprehend that your mama ain't shit. Unfortunately, this is going to apply to them as they get older. Now, hopefully they grow up to be productive members of society, but they will have to realize, or there will be a day when they have to realize who and what their mother really is. Their mother's not somebody that you respect. Their mother's not someone that you hold in high regard. Their mother's not someone that you would take around in public places or in venues where you're around important people. Nah, bitch, you can stay home. I don't need you to show up, Ma. You're good. I got this on my own. This is what they're going to have to conclude. Now, I'm going to go on the limb and say 10 times out of 10, you got black children. Now, is there a chance that you might have a biracial child by a white guy? Slim to none. Knowing what I know about white men, most of them ain't going to impregnate your raggedy ass. They don't want to go that far with you. You're a sperm receptacle. I don't want to put nothing in that dirty womb of yours, but I'll put something on your face. I'll put something on your mouth. Hell, I'll put something in between them greasy ass dick suckers you got on display for the whole goddamn world to see. This is another reason why I coined the term hashtag wipe the bitch down. Wipe that glaze off your fucking face. Hot rag. Get you a rag when it's all said and done. Get that shit nice and heated up, put some warm water on that motherfucker, and wipe the bitch's face down when you done. So white guys already know this. There's only one thing we can do with you. You're an easy, shit, when I can't get what I really want, I can go ahead and I can have something out of you. I can go ahead and have a night's worth of pleasure with you. Because that's what you are. This is what you display. And like I said, here you are raising black children. And see, the problem is a lot of y'all fail to realize how you damage your reputation. And when you go up to a point where there's no return. See, people like Cynthia G, Womansphere, Nyla Vibes, listen, it's pretty simple for them. They're at a point of no return. They realize your options are done now because you've dug yourself into a ditch that you can't get out of. This is literally what you're dealing with. What do I mean when I say this? I'm glad you asked. And see, white women will have no problem freaking off with black men, doing a whole bunch of smut bucket shit with black men. They'll do this in a heartbeat. But they're more strategic when they do it. A lot of high-value white women understand that, listen, at some point in her life, she wants to have an experience or an encounter with a black man or have several encounters with black men. But she knows she's highly sought after. She knows she can get the cream of the crop when it comes down to white men. And I'm going to put y'all up on a little bit of game right here. And there's a reason why a lot of black men fail to realize why they get these fake rape allegations and rape charges slapped against them. Many of y'all don't even understand why white females do this. There's a reason why I say I'm against interracial dating, whether it comes to men doing it or women. I'm against it for black people, period. I don't care what other races do. Black people need to clean up their own damn shit. But knowing what I know when it comes down to these interracial relationships, a lot of y'all go into these situations clueless. This is why I say these movements have never gone anywhere, because the individuals who are trying to lead it don't know what they're fucking talking about. They're clueless. And what they're doing is they're leading many of you down a dangerous fucking path. And since y'all fail to understand that other groups, their top priority is maintaining wealth and resources and dominance within their community, there's no room for your black ass by large to be able to mingle in there with them and think that you're going to somehow benefit off of that or you're going to be a part of that. That's not happening. So you Negroes fail to understand this. And white women that understand that they are highly sought after by high value white men, if she knows she wants to have an encounter with black men and yet at the same time still wants to marry a white guy, she knows that's who she's going to marry. That is the most dangerous type of white female for a black man to date, to get sexually involved with, to have any sexual encounter with. That is the most dangerous type of white female that you can get involved with, because there's a good chance she's going to call the cops on you and have your black ass arrested for a rape charge that never occurred. And there's a reason why this happens. A lot of these white females understand that if they're going to have an encounter with black men or several encounters with black men, let me just go ahead and make this perfectly clear. You put a high value white man on one side and a standard black man. He might rank high in looks, but as far as his finances, he doesn't rank when it comes down to the white man. Now, the white man may rank high in looks, and his finances are ranking high as well. You just have an attractive black man on the other end. And that white female, when it comes down to who she dates, if she dates that black man, she's going to end up sleeping with that black man faster than she'll sleep with that white guy. And no, it has nothing to do with his blackness. No, actually it does have something to do with that, but it has nothing to do with him having the myth of a big black phallus. That has nothing to do with nothing. The reason why she would sleep with that black man faster than she would give it up to that white guy who has resources and has good looks is simple. Because she knows when it comes down to that black guy, she has no intentions on taking it any further past the bedroom. So when she meets you, chances are it's going to be on the same night shit's going down. Worst case scenario, y'all go on one date and the next time y'all meet, y'all fucking. That's how that's going down. And the only reason why she's going on a date with you is because she wants to feel you out, to know that she's comfortable enough to have sex with you. Once she's established, okay, I'm comfortable with this guy, she can do what she has to do, that's it, it's going down. She ain't making you wait for nothing. She might even tell you, don't even bother taking me out, we just gonna go to my place, have a couple of drinks, and let it do what it do. Now the white guy, on the other hand, since she knows she wants this to go somewhere, she sees this going long term, having a family, settling down, getting married, buying a house, all these other good things, the good shit that they want. Therefore, she is going to make him wait. And it might not even be because she doesn't want to sleep with him, but she doesn't want to come across as easy. She doesn't want it to be synonymous that she's just willfully giving it up to random guys. She wants to showcase that, listen, I got standards here. So that way that white guy doesn't view her and say, oh, you easy, therefore you probably doing this with every other man, so therefore I don't need to get involved with you. But now with that black guy, how this is typically going to work. If she comes from a well-off family, you're never going to meet her family. That's not going to happen. If you got your own place, she's going to come right to you. Hey, you want me to come pick you up? I got a car, I'll come scoot. No, don't worry about that. I'm going to get an Uber. I'll pay for it. Don't worry about that. And I'm going to come to you. And when I get to your place, don't even come downstairs to greet me. Don't even come to the apartment door. Listen, just open. When I ring the bell, open the door. I'm going to come inside and that's it. And when we're done and I'm ready to leave, no, you don't got to walk me to no damn public transportation. No, you don't got to walk me to no damn Uber. No, you don't got to walk me to no goddamn cab. I'll walk outside and you lock the fucking doors and that's it. I'll call you on the next rendezvous. That's how they're going to deal with you. The reason why she does it like this is because she doesn't want it to be known. She doesn't want it to become synonymous that she's out here rolling around in a sack with black guys. This is the reason why she does what she does. You're never going to come to her neighborhood. You're never going to be around her friends. Or if she sees high-value white guys that she has a vested interest in, she ain't bringing you around them at all. She don't want that to be known unless she's just completely clueless. And you can rest assured the one thing that's not going to happen is you're not going to impregnate her. Now, the reason why I say they are so dangerous, and this is the most dangerous type of white female that any black man can ever get involved with, is because the moment it becomes synonymous with her reputation, that you are the guy who is putting penis inside of her on a regular basis, now she knows for the most part, white guys are going to look at that and say, I don't know about that. And listen, maybe some white men will still deal with her if she can remove that from her reputation. Because high-value white men aren't going to want to explain why his wife was out here getting it on with black guys and the whole fucking world knows about it. He don't want to explain that shit. If she can't put that or tuck that away somewhere where he don't have to explain it, he ain't going to touch her. Now, he might bend her over depending on how good she looks, but he ain't going to go no further with her. Why? Because this has now become synonymous with her reputation. You are known and infamously known for messing around with black dudes. So therefore, I can have nothing to do with you beyond sex. This is also another reason why when these white females get caught out here, getting gangbanged by black guys, having affairs with black guys, or getting impregnated by black guys, once they realize that this is now synonymous with your reputation, she has to quickly find a way to restore that reputation. And how does she do that? She plays the rape card. A lot of y'all don't even know about this. Because the only way she could get back into the good graces of white men is if she showcases, listen, this is due to no fault of my own. I was forced. I don't have a preference for black men. I don't want nothing to do with them. They happen to take what they wanted. I was raped. That's why she does what she does. Or you impregnated her and she put hopes and faith into your black ass that it was going to work out, and now it hasn't worked. Now she realizes she's done. Them high-value white men that she might have had the chance with getting with back before she got impregnated by your black ass, that's over. Because now she's synonymous with a biracial baby by a black guy. The white guys ain't going to touch her. That's when you're going to come across a bitter female. That's when you come across the most dangerous type of white female, is when she realizes her chances of getting involved or getting married to these upper echelon white men who can elevate her life, put her in spaces that she can never do for herself. When she realizes that opportunity has been yanked, that the rug has been yanked from underneath her feet due to the fact that she has now become synonymous, and her image and her body has now become synonymous of being penetrated by black men. At that point in time is when she feels the need to pull out that wild card to redeem herself. What is that wild card? I was raped. A lot of y'all don't know nothing about this. A lot of you Negroes who push this SYSBM bullshit, go ahead and get you a white snow bunny. You niggas don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. And what you're doing is you're conditioning a whole other class of black men to go out here and make stupid ass fucking decisions. You go right from the from the cutting board straight into the fucking frying pan. And as a matter of fact, to substantiate the talking point, what was it? The Steve Wilkos show? He started his program back in 2007. I don't think his program is still out now, but I believe it was sometime between 2007 and 2008 where this was a situation that went viral. It made its way to the news. You had these college students, a couple of black guys who ran a train on a white girl. They ran train on her, and since she didn't want to have to explain to her white boyfriend that she was getting gangbanged by some black guys, what did she do? She pulled out that wild card. This wasn't consensual. This was rape. And that's why that happened. I didn't want to have consensual sex with them. The only thing that actually saved her was the fact that one of them was smart enough to pull out their cell phone and record the whole fucking thing. Either way, they all got expelled out of that college. And what they realized, shit, we can't get these black guys on rape. All right, that ain't gonna work. Well, fine. Here's what we're gonna do. And there's a reason why the law exonerates white women for going ahead and making these false, frivolous rape allegations. They say, well, we don't want to lock them up because we don't want to discourage other women from coming forth. Man, get the fuck out of here. That shit literally makes no goddamn sense. The reason why they're saying this is because they're not coming after the white woman for making up these lies. They can't do that. That's a wild card. Because if they start penalizing white females for doing this, then guess what? They can no longer play that card, and white women as a collective are going to say, you know what, we ain't even want to engage in this shit. So therefore, when she gets caught out here lying on black guys, she gets away with it. All right, well, you lie, fuck it. Even though she should have been locked up, now had she done it to a white man, she'd be in jail. But if it's a black guy or black men, okay, you can lie, fuck it, we'll just let them go. But we're not going to penalize. The deal is, you ain't going to get no jail time. Your reputation and your record's going to be clean. We're going to wipe this off your record, but we're not going after her. That's how that's going to go down. And you just going to have to deal with that. Because after all, we don't want to discourage women from coming forth and admitting this. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. See, a lot of y'all fail to realize why this even takes place in the first place. And as I told y'all, when it comes down to many of these white women who go out here and marry white guys, a lot of them in their past have dibbled and dabbled with black guys. They've done this. However, they've been able to keep this clean from her reputation, and now she could go out here and deal. And maybe even her husband knows about this, but since it doesn't come back to him to the point where he has to explain this shit away, he can look past that. Fine, that was in your past. I don't care. It's not haunting us. I don't got nobody coming along with pictures or images with some black man's dick in your mouth. I ain't got to explain that shit, so therefore, I don't even got to acknowledge it. Now, you take that back to this retarded ass Manosphere, and apparently you get mad at Taz for calling you a fucking idiot, saying that you're dumb, that you're stupid. Well, he's right. You are fucking dumb. You are a bona fide fucking idiot. That's just what you are. There's no other way this can be said. Nobody with sense in their head gets online and espouses foolishness like this. And you don't say this to actually tell a story to say this is what is going down. No, you get out here and you gleefully brag about a white guy waiting to get his dick sucked in the other room. Waiting for you to come in. Now you are, oh boy. God damn it, man. Shit. As I stated before, you're a fucking idiot. And it explains why you do retarded shit like this, like leaving images like this for people to see. Because a lot of you black women fail to realize how you damage your reputation. See, a lot of y'all will go out here and think that y'all got it better off with Brad, and when Brad lets you know, nah, you just ain't it. That's just not what's going down. Then all of a sudden you want to come right back and get with Tyrone. And then you fail to realize why that doesn't work. Because now it has become synonymous of you engaging in reckless fucking behavior, getting online, literally espousing about how you're sucking white dicks, just doing all sorts of foolishness. This now becomes synonymous with your reputation. In the same way I captured these clips and was able to play this back for all of y'all to hear. So at any given time, I never said that. No, you did. Here it is. Right here. Right there. The same way that lame-ass, goofy-ass Taz exclusives was able to capture those clips and showcase the kind of ratchet bust-down that this individual truly is. It's the same way you could probably go to her channel and find this shit for yourself. Now it makes sense as to why. She's saying, I don't want to date no more. I don't want to date. Why? Because it didn't work out between you and Dean? Because Dean realized you for what you are and did what he needed to do and gone and head for the goddamn hills. That's pretty much what that is. This is how white boys are going to deal with you. They know you're a bust down. They know there is nothing else they can do with you. And when it comes down to black women saying, oh, your mama black, I want y'all to get that shit out y'all fucking vocabulary. As if every black mother out here has done a splendid job raising their damn children. Clearly, when you can see a female like this, who is raising 2 sons, and I believe a daughter, has 3 baby daddies, a convicted felon. When she gets online and you hear her talking about how Dean be in the other room waiting to get his dick sucked, that's disrespectful to your children. That's disrespectful to your family. When y'all wonder why black boys grow older and have a disdain for y'all and don't respect you, this is a part of the reason why. And I can tell you as a young boy, I knew what it was like to see other boys get into fights. If you talk about somebody's mother, a violent fight was going to take place behind that. That got emotional. That got heated. Because boys look to their mothers as if they're goddesses. That's just what they believe when they're little kids. It's not until when they get older they see the type of bust down that their mothers really are. Then they stop respecting them. But when you're little boys, this is what your mothers are going to instill in your head. That, I'm a queen and all sort of dumbass shit, foolishness. I raised you, I birthed you, I breastfed you, bitch. If you don't sit the fuck down with that stupid shit. It isn't until once you get older till then you can see what she really is. But the point that I'm making is, as a boy, it is going to be incumbent of you to defend your mother's reputation. The saddest part is, and one of the reasons why these boys lose respect as they get older, because they realize the defense that they were putting up for their mothers was in vain. What do I mean by that? Here you are, as a boy, you're ready to go off if somebody says something about your mother. In certain cases, you'll fight a kid that's much bigger than you, that you typically wouldn't fight if it was just a matter of defending your own honor or your own well-being. But your mother, on the other hand, you're ready to fight. Now, that is very understandable if you got a respectable mother who's doing what she's supposed to do, raising you properly, nourishing you with good foods and proper nutrition, educating you, doing what she's supposed to do as a mother. That makes perfect sense. I'm not going to knock that. But we know how children can be in school. And they'll crack jokes on your mother for any goddamn reason. Sexual jokes, all types of shit. Now, this female is a black female, notably raising black children. Imagine as a black boy, you come into the understanding of what your history is. Because when we first start off, we're naive to any goddamn thing. We don't know about the history of slavery. We don't know about racism. We don't know about anything. We're innocent little children. It's the world that taints us as time goes on. And then you learn about slavery and all of the horrific things that are taking place. You learn about white supremacy. You realize that racism still exists, and you realize you live in a system where people like you don't control any goddamn thing. You come to that harsh reality. And then you deal with people cracking jokes on your damn mother. And you're ready to defend her. And then you encounter somebody downloading a video clip of your mama after you realize all of the things about the differences between you as a black boy and this system that is controlled and operated by white men. When you stop and you thoroughly analyze that, and then somebody comes in and says, "Is this your mama?" "Yeah, your mama was sucking my dick the other night. She was sucking my dick. Yeah, when she was talking about Dean and the other one went to get that with me." You get some white dude coming along saying that shit to you as a child. And they can actually play an audio clip of your mother on a fucking live stream, displaying that she is nothing more but a fucking bust down, a scut bucket, a fucking thought, a jump off, a hit it and quit it, a cum dumpster. Literally gleefully talking about how she has a whole white man waiting in her room to get his dick sucked. How are you supposed to react as a black boy? Here you are, just generally speaking, trying to defend the honor of your mother. But then you realize it's your mother who's giving these people, these kids, the material to crack more jokes on her. It's your mother who's giving them shit to work with so they can continue clowning you. And when you realize you have to go through this as a goddamn child, and this is based off of a reckless, fucked up decision that your mother done made. When you got somebody who dislikes you, who can pull up a screenshot of what we are looking at right now of your mama with greasy, shined up, dick sucking lips on display for the whole world, literally telling the world that she sucks, she's a dick sucker. And then not only displaying this on this fucking this image, but she also will say this in videos. When you got your mother sitting on a fucking live stream and she's in her mid to late 40s, talking about how she got a 26-year-old man and just sucking a dick of a, I mean, who fucking does this? Is this a woman that's worthy of respect? I'm asking y'all this. All you divestors and all of y'all that sit up and say, well, you're supposed to respect your mama black. Okay, is this a black mother that's worthy of respect? Should she be put up on a fucking pedestal? Should she be looked at as some fucking goddess? And a lot of y'all sit up here and y'all wonder why your boys get older and hate your black asses. You wonder why your boys get older and want nothing to do with black women because this is what they're reminded of. And they get involved with one of y'all who think and act just like this. Because for far too long, too many of you are sitting around being cultivated by idiots like this. And yet y'all sit up here and y'all believe that a Brian Solange is the overall problem that y'all face. Y'all sit here and y'all believe that men who want nothing to do with y'all are the overwhelming issue that y'all face. No, that's not the problem that y'all face. The problem that y'all face looks at you right here, staring you right in the face. This goofy ass fucking idiot with these retarded eyelashes on, shiny dick sucking lips, displaying to the fucking world that this is what she does and she enjoys doing it. And listen, let me make this perfectly clear. I can care less whose phallus the bitch puts in her goddamn mouth. But when you put this on display for the whole world to listen to, then we can critique and criticize this. Because I'll tell you something right now. If this were a member of my family doing this, I'm cutting you off. I have nothing more to do with you. Nothing. We're done. There's nothing more you can talk about. And now you have this female talking about, I don't want to deal with mens. Mens are stupid. They can't comprehend what I'm saying. I be talking about my matriarchal power. What the fuck is a matriarchal power? You have idiots sitting up here talking stupidness out of their goddamn mouth. And once again, what you are listening to is the admission of failure. Someone who knows she's a failure, so the only way to compensate behind that is by sitting up here saying, giving yourself fake, false accolades that you're not worthy of. What is matriarchal power? When I'm talking about matriarchal power, they should be looking at me like, huh? First of all, what man is going to want to sit up listening to a bitch chastising him about how she's so dominant and her matriarchal power? Bitch, shut the fuck up. Do what these greasy dick sucking lips are known for doing and put a dick in your fucking mouth. Now, what the fuck? Why would this goddamn thing move over? Put some meat in your goddamn mouth. Put these greasy dick suckers to use, goddammit. I don't know, I'm trying to hear you talk about your matriarchal power. Get the fuck out of here. What do you have power over? Other than to put a damn phallus in your damn mouth. Oh, it's the prettiest penis I ever seen. This is what the dumb bitch is talking about. Y'all supposed to take that seriously? You think men want to sit up and listen to that? Man, get the fuck out of here. So what you are listening to is that no relationship has worked out with this 40-plus-year-old female. And I can see why. It hasn't worked out. No man will deal with her long enough. She doesn't qualify to being somebody's wife, let alone being somebody's woman, or even their girlfriend. You don't qualify. Why? Because your reputation is trash. This is what has now become synonymous with your reputation, is a cum dumpster, a smut bucket. This is just what we're dealing with. You did this shit to yourself. And the problem with this now is this now comes back to haunt you. This will follow you. At some point, your boys are going to have to know this. So when they seen that white dude coming over to the house and they were getting sent over to their friend's house or to go stay with the damn dad, now they know what that white dude was doing. Getting his dick licked. When they see some random stranger coming over to the house that they never met after hours, they know what time it is. That dude is there to get his dick sucked. They know what time it is. It was kind of like the TV show, the Soul Food series that came on. And what was it? Lem Van Adams. They showcased his mama when he was a kid. And how she would have random dudes in the house. And he's peeking through the window. She's dancing for strange men. He would come in the house trying to get the men out of the goddamn house. She's talking about, what you doing here, boy? Acting like a jealous boyfriend. Now go get. While mama got to have her life too. This is what this reminds me of. Don't be surprised. But this is what, this is what we're dealing with. And the problem with this in particular is when a black female gets online and does this shit, pretty much, and what a lot of y'all do, y'all really damage your reputation, because it's not going to work out for many of you when it comes down to getting white guys. It just isn't. And when that doesn't work, you are going to find yourself trying to get right back with black men. This is why a lot of you bitches that sit up here and talk this foolishness, y'all go out here and throw black men under the goddamn bus, but you got some black man that you riding, bouncing up and down on the first chance you get. Just like Crystal Swirl's stupid ass. Sitting up here talking all that bullshit about black men, but yet you got a black dude sitting up in your damn house, interviewing the goddamn dude, recording videos and audios of some black guy going off on you in your own home. If you were so done with Nakers, how the hell did the Naker make his way into your damn home? Why was he even there in the first place? As I've told y'all, they have no consistency. They have no integrity. Because if you're truly done with something, then you won't even dealing with these goddamn people. Now tell me, for when you listen to this idiot sit up here and talk about the brother Brian Solange, when was the last time you heard Brian Solange say that he was done dating altogether, but yet he's recording a video of some female in his house going off on him? Hasn't happened. When was the last time you heard David Carroll back when he was alive? Rest in peace, by the way. When was the last time you heard him say, I can take him or leave him, 10 times out of 10 I'm taking those sticks, but yet at the same time he's talking about how some bimbo then came into his house and gave him a hard time? Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Because what you are listening to are brothers who have a consistent track record. We know where we stand, we know the lane that we occupy, and that's the position that we live on. But how many times have you heard black females talking about they're done with Nakers, they're done with black men, and then you come to find out that they're secretly sucking off a black man somewhere? Or they'll admittedly come out and say, yeah, they still gonna continue to ride up and down on some black phallus. This is what you're dealing with. A bunch of females who literally make no fucking sense. They have no integrity. And see, when y'all get out here and y'all talk about y'all done with Nakers and y'all start putting white men on pedestals, you fail to realize that this becomes synonymous with your reputation, and most of y'all are stupid enough to get out here and show your fucking faces. So now we can tie this shit in with a goddamn face. This idiot, we can tie this in with a fucking face. We can tie this in. Okay, this is what you look like. Oh, that's the voice behind the damn on that channel saying what you're saying. This person right here. So guess what now? Now that this becomes synonymous with your reputation, and chances are you would have the chance to be able to date white guys and still come back and get you a black man if you were smart enough not to make this become synonymous with your reputation. The fact of the matter is, when it comes down to men of means, a man of means is not going to want to have to explain why his woman is a complete embarrassment to him. And this is exactly what Will Smith is going through right now. You see, what y'all fail to realize, y'all try to do what men do all the goddamn time and y'all fail miserably instead of being women. Now, Will Smith is taking the heat based off of what his wife has done, because he is an example of a man who has failed to put his wife in check. His wife is a piss poor representation of his legacy. So now he's dealing with the heat behind that, and now he's finding himself trying to redeem his reputation because he's not respected amongst men. So he's getting crack jokes on everywhere he goes behind this goofy bitch that he's married to. So he does something stupid in order to redeem his reputation. Now look at the situation now. I'm not even going to deal with that in this production. But this is the consequences that men have to deal with when it comes down to dealing with out-of-pocket bitches. So when you have men of means, and this is why y'all are so afraid of black men saying, nah, you need to raise your goddamn standards. Don't go accepting any goddamn body or any black woman that wants to deal with you. No, check her reputation. I see why that bothers you. Because now you no longer have the option to be able to manipulate these black men and shame them into dating you. Which now it all makes sense as of why she could be in her mid-fucking 40s dating a 26-year-old. Because this is somebody that you can manipulate. That he's going to look past all your foul, fucked up behavior and be so hooked and intoxicated off of that dungeon in between your legs, he ain't going to know what to make out of anything else. And what you're going to notice about females like this, when they sink their fangs into these young boys, If somebody tries to wake them up, they will aggressively snatch these boys away. Don't you be talking to him. Don't listen to him. He don't give a fuck about you. Don't listen to him. That's what you're going to do. That's what they do. Why? Because they're afraid that if somebody like myself, if somebody like a David Carroll, if somebody like a Brian Solange or any other black man decides to go forth and tell them shit that they're going to need to know, that at some point they're going to wake up. They don't want that to happen. This can explain why they sit around calling black men nakers and all this other dumb shit that they say. Because when it comes down to brothers like myself, we're putting forth information that really reaches out to a lot of black men. Y'all don't want that. Because now you don't have that power to talk that pussy power bullshit. What was it back in 2011? You had black females coming online talking about the power of the punani. And now you're realizing the more black men start to wake up that punani really don't hold much power. Why? Because it can be taken or leaving. And how can we substantiate this? If it held that much power, then why are you giving it away for such a low price? In certain cases, you're giving it away to little or nothing at all. This speaks volumes of who you are. And when black men understand who the fuck they are, and they got something to offer, no, you don't ever get involved with a reform swirler, with a reform divester. You don't ever take them back. You leave their ass to the goddamn streets. Because here's the reason why black men of means, and what y'all really want is on point simps, and y'all hoping that y'all can keep black men like that as a goddamn collective. As much as y'all want to trash us and talk about how we don't build any fucking thing, but y'all still want on point simps. Which is another reason why she talked about when she woke up to that black dude counting money on her bed. Yeah. Some Negro that can bring in his own money, too young to comprehend the shit that you're running on him, but can still provide for you. Okay, it makes perfect sense. But black men of means are not going to want to deal with a woman who has gotten online, made endless public videos and live streams talking about how she's sucking the next man's dick, has a whole white man waiting in her bedroom to get sucked off as she's making a live stream addressing other black women. No black man of means is going to want to deal with that. And the reason being is simple. Because when that history eventually comes to light, and it will make its way back into light, because y'all too stupid to make sure that this don't become synonymous with your reputation. He's not going to want to sit down and one day one of his best friends or his colleagues come to him and say, hey man, listen, is this your woman? What do you mean? I think you might want to hear this. And yet he has to now listen to the sound of his woman or his wife, a woman that he has interest in, sitting up here talking about how she got some white dude waiting in the other room to get his dick sucked. Talking about how she's tired of flossing with the white man's pubic hairs in between her fucking teeth. Talking about how pretty some 26-year-old man's phallus is. Mind you, she's a whole bitch in her fucking mid to late 40s. What man of means is going to want to explain that away? Because that you're going to get clowned for. See, the problem is a lot of y'all, you're not a proper representation of a high-value man. Or any man for that matter. So it starts to explain why now you can have these females that will sit online and say, well, you know, I don't even want to deal with men. Now you've given yourself a consolation prize. It's kind of like the fox. And David Carroll would often reference this. How the fox wanted the grapes, but the grapes were too high for him to reach. And when he realized he could not get access to those grapes, all of a sudden, it's not him. That's the problem. Those grapes are probably spoiled. They're probably rotten. They probably don't taste good anymore. And this is exactly what you were listening to when you hear these females get on the, I don't like men anymore, and they get on my nerve. No, men don't want to put up with you. This is just what it is. A lot of you brothers have dealt with ex-girlfriends and some bitch that you done fucked, stopped talking to or had a fallout with, and all of a sudden she's telling you how she don't want nothing more to do with you and she wants you to leave her alone, but every minute she's constantly contacting you, looking for some frivolous excuse to call you, sending you friend requests on social media, even if it's to the means of making fake accounts. A lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. So what you're dealing with are females who talk things that they can't back up. At some point, if you're going to talk about leading a movement, you have to first understand who you are as a goddamn woman. And what I'm saying is y'all going to talk a whole lot of bullshit about nakers and black men and how y'all done with us and hashtag divest. And when y'all realize that these relationships with these white men, once they put you in the category of a pump and dump, then you're going to turn your black ass right back around and try to find yourself right back in the hands of black men. And what I'm telling you, black men, at this point in time, you really better start checking the resume of these females. You really better start setting forth a real goddamn standard when it comes down to these females. Your woman is a representation of you. This is what divestors fail to realize. They refuse to be a representation and an outstanding representation of a black man that they're with. Instead, they think they can do whatever the hell they want to. This is what this dumb bitch said. I can do what I want and nobody can check me. But okay, you leave her ass to the goddamn streets. That's it. Hashtag. Leave it right there. That's it. That's it. Hashtag. Wipe them down. Because there's nothing else that you can do with them. These are individuals who are not redeemable. And I guarantee you, as her children start to get older, that reality is going to start to set in. When she realizes, yeah, your sons, your daughter want nothing to do with you. When they go places, they ain't thinking about Mom Dukes, now I'm good. They don't want to bring you to birthday parties or events anymore. They don't want you showing up at school to their events anymore. Why? Because they know that you're an embarrassment. They're not going to tell you this as long as they live under your goddamn roof, but they just don't want to deal with the shit. They don't want you around their friends. They don't want you around colleagues at their job or any events that they go to or venues. They don't want you there because you are an embarrassment. This is what you're dealing with when it comes down to individuals who conduct themselves as such. Womansphere, Cynthia G, and a host of other black females, you are going to learn the hard way that you have dug yourself into a ditch that you can't get out of. And I'm telling any of y'all that are listening to me, any black women that are listening to me, who have any level of reasoning, if you find yourself getting caught up with this, listening to individuals like this, and I'm going to tell you this much right now. The stuff that they say, oh yeah, it's going to be entertaining. Well, at least to y'all it is. It's not to me. It's fucking ridiculous. But it's going, for the sake of making an argument, they're going to say things that are entertaining. They're going to come up with terminology and coin catchphrasey words. And, don't let this shit get you sucked into it. Because if you allow this shit to become synonymous with your reputation, it might not dawn on you just yet. It might not dawn on you for another 10, 15, 20, 25 years. But if this shit becomes synonymous with your reputation, just like the aborting of black male babies, if this becomes synonymous with your reputation, guess what? You're done. What you are listening to a group of bitter, angry females that know that they have dug themselves into a ditch that they can't get out of. Their goal is not to help black women and girls. Just understand the old saying, misery loves company. And this is exactly what they're looking for. To find more mindless, brainless individuals who can be led down a dark path or into that same ditch that they can no longer climb out of. And now with that being stated, that's all I got to say in this production. And I'll catch you on a later date.